I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in the debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary researching, we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoking, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts on my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead. You're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube, apologize like dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists see me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a Stella with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up and your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like I'm not in city for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happen to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections, My complexion, pure black, that's the S. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right. What up? I'm gonna play one more song. We're gonna get right into it. Go on and share the video and get back with me. And if you don't want to hear the song, come back in 2 minutes. We're gonna do it like that. Let's go. Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rappers slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norma, the agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though. That mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me. A doctor save me, a Dr. Inky. I cop the copper jewels on blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor, y'all claim woke. But you in bed, you won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's to Harker Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scoping the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school. That shit through. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask Divine or Zion Lex. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Stone Jetty. A Ujahu, a Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA.
Cat's corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin' be cool. I'm a magi orchard, you a sad guy talking.
Let's go on and cut that off. What's up with y'all? Let's get it in. Have another good show. Shout out to the people tapped in already. And I just was kicking back, watching a video. And honestly, I still gotta point out the issues Metatron has with his argument. But unlike some people in the pseudo community, he took them hands that he got, meaning when he came out with his claims that Egyptians ain't black, he had to change his argument. Shout out to all y'all hardworking people who do that research to make sure it is what it is. And so now he has a video called History Hit. Put it on the screen. Excuse me. History Hit Egyptologist is afraid to tell the truth, so I will. Now, we see like a 180. He ain't did a whole 360. He tried to do a 180. So, well, now he like, okay, he's trying to do the limiting and relegating blacks to the South thing. As if we don't. Well, I must say, at least where he is unknowledgeable on the subject, he will show you, okay, I just didn't know that, my bad. Right? But now there's a whole lot more we got to learn, and we're going to put a little bit of it in this video. All right? And let's trip off how he do this as we watch just this one take from his History Hit Egyptologist is afraid to tell the truth, so I will video.
In some cases, even when we know individuals were old and maybe not in what we would think of as the best shape physically, they depicted themselves in, say, statues and paintings as being youthful and unblemished, which is a kind of window into how they wanted to look, maybe. We know, to some extent, what some of them actually looked like, perhaps from the very best preserved mummies, which, even if they don't have the same appearance that the individual would have had in death, they capture something of the features of the person.
Yeah, the mummies can absolutely be used to study that, but also iconography. Maybe I would have spoken about iconography, wall paintings, mural art before speaking about the mummies, but the mummies are absolutely part of it.
Now, yeah, you're right. I would have spoken about the iconography and the war statues too. But if I was one holding a stance, and we'll talk about this as we get to go in on it, if I was one holding a stance that the Egyptians were ultimately mixed, and that's how I wanted to use the multicultural thing in order to break this down, then I would have to say that iconography does not support that claim. Egyptians drew themselves in a standard brown color that if you would say they were mixed, like I agree they were mixed, but they were mixed Africans. Mixed African tribes. The major contingency of the ancient Egyptians were indeed mixed, but these were a mixture of African tribes.
The person, they look like human beings, like any other human beings.
No. Professor, what's your name again? What's your name? Chris. No. That's a cop-out. That is a massive cop-out. Why are you not... You know exactly what this question is asking. Let's stop playing dumb here. Because obviously dumb, you're not. You're very intelligent. The Egyptians looked like human beings? Come on. Have some courage. Stand the ground, use the sources the iconography, the descriptions, the paintings, the murals, the statues, the mummies, and tell it how it is. That's what we need in our day and age. The courage to speak the truth based on the sources.
So
Are you
you're trying to
afraid?
tell me the argument that Metatron is mounting has been based on the sources? In all honesty, it's been based on a collection of secondary sources that he must rely heavily on. As far as the iconography is concerned, we understand a long period of ancient Egypt, and some people always like to refer to any picture, any vignette, any type of iconography they can find from the later period and then spread that all over the whole 3,000-year history of Egypt. But we have to talk about some of this.
Like, who are you afraid of? That they're going to call you a racist? So what? They're clowns. You know, this is the problem that I have with this topic, and unfortunately much of academia these days, not all academia, but much of academia these days, they're afraid. They're afraid because they know that this topic is going to be inflammatory. And of course, no matter what he says, if he says, oh, the ancient Egyptians were all white, oh, he's going to be devoured alive. But the same way, if he says the ancient Egyptians were all black, then there is going to be a whole other side of people that are going to go after him and call him all sorts of names. So at the end of the day, the reality of fact is that they were mixed. And I say it here, and I will state it until evidence will prove otherwise.
See, that's what I'm saying. You see how he threw that out there, y'all? He threw out white and black and then said mixed to bring your head in between as if it was a mixture of white and black. And he probably didn't even notice that that's how he forecasts things, because that's just the way he see it. He actually later says white, black, and then he says or green. Now we understand when people say, I don't care if there's white, black, or green, or, and pick another color, that people really aren't. But it's letting me know in his brain, when he say mixed, and when you might hear that the ancient Egyptians were multi-ethnic, he's not considering multiple African ethnicities. He think Africa black, and then there's white. Like black is an ethnicity. So you can go 20, 30 miles in Africa and come across another ethnic group that's still all black people.
They were a mixed people. At the end of the day, even if people disagree, just state what the facts say, which you know what they say. Tell it how it is. And then the decent people, even if they disagree with you, if they are decent and civil, they will say, Professor, respectfully, thanks for the presentation, but I disagree. I think they were all black, or I think they were all white, or I think they were all green, and here is why, and here is who I quote, and that's the literary or whatever, or the iconography, and that's the YouTube video that I watched, whatever it is their source is, and they'll put it in there, and they will initiate discourse. That's how it works. I'm not the one who is supposed to explain that, because you're an academic, you know that. I mean, at the end of the day, the only people that are gonna get pissed at you if you actually don't give this sort of answer, the people that are gonna get pissed are those that otherwise were gonna call you a racist, a liar. I take these types and put them into the same box. Clowns! They don't matter, they hate you anyways, unless you say it exactly as they want. Someone who is decent, someone like me, someone like the people in my audience, someone who is decent, you know what they're going to say? If you say they were all white, they're going to tell you, Professor, I disagree for this, and that reason. If you say they were all black, they're not going to call you woke, horrible woke. They're not going to do that. They're going to tell you, Professor, I don't know why you say that, since we have this, and that. And that's it. And these are the people you need to care about. The rest are clowns. They mean nothing. If anything, whenever I get them, which I do, because contrary to you, I don't cop out. I stand my ground. You know what I do? I don't read their comments anymore. So they spam my comment section. My audience sees that, sees all the accusations, the attack, Metatron is a racist, blah, blah, blah. They defend me. They fight my battles, which, by the way, I appreciate. It becomes a flame war in the comments. I monetize the shit out of it, and that creates hard cash. And I turn support for decent people and hatred from the clowns into monetary gain. I'm a medieval alchemist, that's what I am. You know, lead into gold? Well, here we are. Now, I get it, not everyone has got the guts to stand against the backlash. That's fine, and I'm not gonna shame you for it, I understand, but in that case, then you have to ask the editor in this case and tell them, now listen, cut that part out, because I don't feel comfortable speaking about it, I just don't want to do it. Then cut it out, but if you're gonna leave it on, then don't give me the cop-out, because then I'm not gonna respect you. That's just how it is. They looked like human beings? What does that even mean? We all look different, which is a great thing, by the way. I like the fact that there is so much diversity in the world. It's like having multiple colors on a beautiful painting. But be a man, tell it how it is. So since you didn't, I'm going to do it for your audience.
All right, so
and
hold
mine.
up.
The
Now, you know, I agree. No, what I agree with is the scholar can't be saying, when somebody asks you, what did the ancient Egyptians look like? He answered they looked like humans. And so I'm not on the side of the person who gonna answer they look like humans, because that ain't what we talking about. And I know you have to maintain your scholastic dignity, integrity, and not get caught up with the YouTube battles, right? But let's first, this is what I want to stop this video and say. I should go get his first video. Matter of fact, I should probably go get his first video when he was clearly like, what? You saying the ancient Egyptians ain't black? Now shout out to y'all. Specifically, the bigger channels with the reach that actually got to some of his audience, and then he felt the pressure and had to change his stance. But previously, the word black could not even be included in Egypt. He even learned about saying sub-Saharan in his first video. He was all sub-Saharan. I had to beat the brakes off him about sub-Saharan. Now, I don't take no credit for none of the Metatron, nothing, but let me tell y'all the truth. Like, don't let YouTube views make y'all think somebody is really a superstar in their real life. Everybody look at YouTube, and if something got your name in it, whether you acknowledge it or not, you're going to look at it, right? Unless you're just so busy, then how you doing YouTube videos. So really, a few of these arguments, and I'm giving the majority of the credit to the pages like Cooley Minga. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. King's Monologue, Mr. Imhotep, who all was just putting out the information that clearly made him switch his stance. But he ain't trying to back all the way off it. And that's fine, because, you know, my argument is not an absolute argument. I argue against those who, like he was previously, excluded black people as if they could not be Egyptians, right? So let's listen to his new stance now.
tell it how it is. So since you didn't, I'm going to do it for your audience and mine. The ancient Egyptians were a multi-ethnic civilization. Hate me all you want, I'm still gonna say it. And the ancient Egyptians were mixed. And the percentages of those people, the way they looked, the way, when it comes in general to the ethnic percentages, varied period from period from period. Because of course, if you look at the late Egyptian era, when they were under Ptolemaic rule, and there were quite a few Greek colonizers and colonies that were being built in ancient Egypt, then when you look at the ancient Egyptian population as a whole, a certain percentage, including the ruling elites, would have been white, or Mediterranean Europeans, Greek, if you don't want to use white, because perhaps you only use it in the Benjamin Franklin Anglo-Saxon way. If that's how you use it, I don't. I mean it as white-skinned Europeans like me. But if that's not the way you use it, don't want to use white, don't use white, then they are Greek. They are Greek. They looked Greek, like Mediterranean people. I'm a Mediterranean, by the way. I'm from Sicily. Can't get more Mediterranean than me.
Let's just stop for a minute. That argument is so, even though he trying to change it up and somebody taught him about periodization and how things changed over time, the argument, imagine mounting an argument that when I'm just giving you a hypothetical scenario, or not even a hypothetical scenario, that when Europeans took over Africa, then at that time, Africans was white. Think about his argument, how silly it is. Think about that. His argument is that if you look at the time period when Greeks were on the throne, then Egyptians would have been white. Huh? You still referring to the Greeks. And my analogy was, it's just like saying when Europeans colonized and cut up and carved up Africa, at that point, all Africans was then white. There's no logic behind that type of a stance. But since you was forced to backtrack and retreat off your first stance, now your secondary stance, which requires all this looking off to the right, like your secondary stance is a slipperier slope than it was at first. And I'll show you why momentarily.
Only be a small percentage of the Egyptian in a almost insignificant section of a few hundred years that will be the later part, and then it becomes under Roman rule all the way up to, as he says, the Arab conquest. That would be the section where you would have the highest number of European looking types within the Egyptian ethnic strata.
Now look, was that what he was saying at first? Oh, this is the biggest recant. Now listen to this. Before that, like everybody was telling him.
For that, the Egyptians would have looked a mixture between brown, olive skin, no matter how much people hate that word, it's still a word and I'm gonna use it, and black, although then again, the highest percentages of black people, which some...
No, you're not gonna be allowed to do that on this show. We do the knowledge. So what you just did, Metatron, was went from physical descriptions and now you're trying to switch to a modern day race category called black people, as if olive skin or brown does not indicate black people when we're talking about physical appearance. So if we rewind this and just notice, I don't even think he's doing it on purpose. It's people with failing arguments. It's just like when you're getting beat up, you didn't mean to move into that punch either, right? It just started happening because you start getting beat up. This is what happens when your argument deteriorates, but you still want to somehow maintain the stance. I'm going to pull it back a little bit so we can really notice what's going on.
The Arab conquest. That would be the section where you would have the highest number of European-looking types within the Egyptian ethnic strata. Before that, the Egyptians would have looked a mixture between brown, olive skin, no matter how much people hate that word, it's still a word and I'm gonna use it, and black.
Now look, brown, olive skin, and black, he's telling you how they physically would have appeared. But now he's going to have to deviate to the modern category of black people and then start injecting how he don't like to use sub-Saharan no more. See how that messed up his whole argument? Because now you excluding brown skin and olive people from ultimately being black. Because when people say Egyptians was black, they don't mean that they was the darkest people of the world.
Although then again, the highest percentages of black people, which some use the term sub-Saharan, I kind of stopped using that because it's not exactly a great descriptive term in my humble opinion. You can hate me if you want, but once again, woke, okay, great.
Now, a lot of y'all beat him up about using sub-Saharan. And my little video that he probably never seen, right, it did the best on giving you a scholastic humbling on saying sub-Saharan like that. As we showed Christopher Eric in that video, say there's a deeply, deeply racist term, you know, and well, I'll take that back. That was not about sub-Saharan, that was about Hemito-Semitic. Hemito-Semitic. But I'm pretty sure you're not using that no more.
There have been a higher percentage of black Egyptians in Upper Egypt, some of which were priests, some of which have even become pharaohs at one point.
Let's
you have
stop.
the Nubian thing, and it's a small percentage of the
I'm
Egyptian
rewinding this just so we can trip off this.
or Mediterranean Europeans, Greek, if you don't want to use white, because perhaps you only use it in the Benjamin Franklin Anglo-Saxon way. If that's how you use it, I don't. I mean it as white-skinned Europeans like me. But if that's not the way you use it, don't want to use white, don't use white. Then they are Greek. They are Greek. They looked Greek, like Mediterranean people. I'm a Mediterranean, by the way. I'm from Sicily. Can't get more Mediterranean than me. But that would only be a small percentage of the Egyptian in a almost insignificant section of
Still calling the Greeks and the Greek people who moved in when Greece took over Egypt, the Egyptians, is cold.
a few hundred years. That would be the later part, and then it becomes under Roman rule all the way up to, as he says, the Arab conquest. That would be the section where you would have the highest number of European-looking types within the Egyptian ethnic strata. Before that, the Egyptians would have looked a mixture between brown, olive skin, no matter how much people hate that word, it's still a word and I'm gonna use it, and black, although then again, the highest percentages of black people, which some use the term sub-Saharan, I kind of stopped using that because it's not exactly a great descriptive term in my humble opinion. You can hate me if you want, but once again, woke, okay, great. There would have been a higher percentage of black Egyptians in Upper Egypt, some of which were priests, some of which have even become pharaohs at one point. You have the Nubian thing, and it's precisely because...
I want to just address that language. Some of which were priests, and some of which may have even became pharaohs at some point. See, he ain't even talking about the 25th dynasty pharaohs that everybody know. People have given him a lesson. But what he's failing to realize is that he's completely losing the argument by trying to do what old Egyptologists and some might try to even mislead you to think that the South was insignificant at some point. Oh, they were only in the South. Oh yeah, they would have been in the South, and some of them would have became priests. So should all of them have become priests? And some may even have, how many people can become pharaoh? Even in Egypt, only some of them became priests. Like, I don't even get this. So really his language is like trying to include some exception. Oh, some of them, could become priests. Huh?
People, which some use the term sub-Saharan, I kind of stopped using that because it's not exactly a great descriptive term in my humble opinion. You can hate me if you want, but once again, woke, okay, great. There would have been a higher percentage of black Egyptians in Upper Egypt, some of which were priests, some of which have even become pharaohs at one point. You have the Nubian thing, and it's precisely because of the border shared with the Nubians that Upper Egypt, so the southern part of Egypt, because their maps were upside down from a European modern perspective, that's where you would have had the higher percentage of black Egyptians.
All right, here go a challenge. I challenge you to prove that with a primary source, Metatron. Specifically, substantiate your claim, or your use of this term, with the thing Nubians. Because as I argue, that's not even a term. The term Nehesi only meant southerner, and we can't even find it in these time periods used to indicate a particular people group, so to speak. Any translation you find before you present it, if you even want to do this for your own self, see if that could say southerner. And you see the most updated translations of the term that has means southerner. Well, you're going to see why this is key. Because you just said, well, let's just go.
So some Black Egyptians absolutely existed. It would be interesting to see if we could go all the way back to the first, second, and third dynasty.
Oh, now some Black Egyptians existed.
What those percentages would be. I'm very open to look at that. How many were brown? How many were black? How many were...
See, there you go again. How many were brown? How many were black? Yo. So what you need to do is stop switching from physical appearance to the race group black. Just leave the race group out of it. Right? Leave the race group Metatron. Don't address like black people no more. Say physical appearance. And then you'll see that someone olive could be describing what we call black people today. Someone brown. I don't get this. So y'all, in order to try to have some type of argument, want people to be as black as this microphone right here. And if you ain't black as that microphone, then you was brown. Then you're not black, then they're going to switch. Well, then you're not black, and then, you were just brown. I'm brown. So this is the craziness.
Olive. Very difficult to say, contrary to what other people say. They make categorical statements of the First Dynasty is so moronic considering the lack of evidence comparatively. But regardless.
That's a pseudo claim you just made. To say that there's a lack of evidence, to say who the people in the First Dynasty would have been, like, what are you researching? Do you read any scholarly documents? Do you know about the material culture around the First Cataract? And read Maria Gatto's work, right, about cultural entanglement in the 4th millennium BC. I don't get it. If you look, now this is the problem, and I'm about to reveal this. Here goes your problem with your new argument, Metatron. The first archaeological extraction pertaining to the founding of what we call Egypt, it's called Nakata. Probably Nakata 1, and then we got Nakata 1A. What have you. The first archaeological extractions that has been labeled and categorized and given to the people that we call Nubians, it's at Kom Ombo, but it would be labeled A group through the X group. These are the people who fought. These two groups, if you use the work of Maria Gatto, you can even look at some of Aaron DeSocia's work. These would be two of the groups who fought for the unification of Egypt. But we don't really understand how it's detailed. So as Maria Gatto puts it out, at that time period, the north, what was considered the north, would be around the area of Abydos. And what we would know as the south in that time, from their perspective, would be around the areas of Tasseti and what we know today as Egyptian Nubia, for lack of a better term. We all know Nubia is just a region, right? And so when you say, okay, upper Egyptians, the blacks, Egyptians would have been in Upper Egypt. We're talking about an area that the ancient Egyptians would have called Tashamahu. This is the area representative of the White Crown, governed over by the god Montu, and other southern war deities that they would often have to refer to whenever Egypt collapsed. So you think it's significant for your argument to say, oh yeah, it was some black people, but they would have, they would have been down in the South and some of them could have been priests. It's because you don't know how this went down. So I'm about to share my screen and let's start to get in. I just wanted to pull up a gnome map like we often do on this show. And you see way up here, that's what Metatron banging for, the Mediterranean, to make Egypt Mediterranean or something, right? But the funny part is, when we learn how to read the gnome map, we see that all these numbers in the delta, they start right here, right? That's the first gnome of Lower Egypt, right? In any primary text, and I can pull up multiple texts, ancient Egyptians, the real ancient Egyptians, would often even abandon these areas when it start getting down and go where? South. So, and I will argue this for 3 time periods cataloged in Egyptology as intermediate periods. And I would even go so far as to say, even during the time of Ptolemy IV, Tashama'u, where the blacks is at, it'd be blacks in the upper part, in Upper Egypt, that's where the black people would be. They always broke off from these invaded foreign, I don't want to call this foreign lands, but this is what they call Mehu, right? Now, I'm just putting out little things that'll show how authoritative this stance might be. If you can pull out a time when Egypt collapsed into an intermediate period, and it wasn't those blacks who was down, in Upper Egypt. Now, here's another thing I want y'all to see. In all actuality, despite of how the big letters on this gnome map might mislead some of us, Upper Egypt starts right here. Well, I shouldn't say starts, because now I got the Eurocentric perspective coming from the north. Upper Egypt ends right here, right? So let's look at this whole lotus flower that looks like this now that looks like the lotus flower. And let's notice that the end of the stem is the end of Upper Egypt. You could count 22, 21, 20. These are the gnomes. Now, remember when I said the first Egyptian extraction was in Nakata? I gave it some love and said it was up by Abydos. It is. Abydos is number 8, but Nakata is gnome number 5. This is your first ancient Egyptian archaeological extraction where they say the people who formed ancient Egypt started and came from right here, didn't migrate in from nowhere. That was from right here. Now, these at that time period were the northerners. Even in pre-dynastic times, we find almost little to no odes to things being significant as far as the establishment of Egypt in the Delta. Everything was down in Upper Egypt where you say the blacks might have been. So hold on, let's hear you. Let's let you rephrase that one more time, and then just put you in lights.
Egypt, some of which were priests, some of which have even become pharaohs at one point. You have the Nubian times under Roman rule, all the way up to, as he says, the Arab conquest. That would be the section where you would have the highest number of European-looking types within the Egyptian ethnic strata. Before that, the Egyptians would have looked a mixture between brown, olive skin, no matter how much people hate that word, it's still a word and I'm gonna use it, and black, although then again, the highest percentages of black people, which some use the term sub-Saharan, I kind of stopped using that because it's not exactly a great descriptive term in my humble opinion. You can hate me if you want, but once again, woke, okay, great. There would have been a higher percentage of black Egyptians in Upper Egypt, some of which were priests, some...
See, he don't even know how much he messed up. He thought Upper Egypt, he thought Upper Egypt was way down here. So you just goofballed yourself, because Upper Egypt start right here. I mean, ends right here, right? So everything that you see on the screen down is all Upper Egypt. I definitely agree with you, because I read the ancient text. What no brother's trying to be in this march like that, hiding in the bushes. That was those people coming from the Levant. That was your Mediterraneans sneaking in and called the A'amu, and possibly a contingency of the retinue sneaking in, a contingency from retinue sneaking in, and then they eventually had a setup way up here in the Vars. Don't get it twisted. Everybody know on my show, I've went back to texts from the old kingdom addressing both people they call Asiatics and people we call Nubians today, and showing you how the ancient Egyptians addressed them. Now, it's funny because if Metatron is Mediterranean, then I'm assuming he must have some Mediterranean DNA. Well, let's not even go as far up as Italy. Let's just go to the modern Egyptians who are in these areas now, who DNA studies say they have 80% West Asian DNA. There's no way anyone can mount an argument that the original Egyptians, who were Africans, would carry 80% West Asian DNA. Because you're not in West Asia, right? And you would have to be someone who traveled and migrated there. And when we look at the primary textual sources, we see just the sentiment that ancient Egyptians put towards the people migrating in from the east. So now notice, they would fill up these areas. The furthest down we got, right here, Beni Hassan. Remember, we got the Canaanite inscription. I don't want to say Canaanite. We got the inscriptions of the Hekakasu, who went to trade at Beni Hassan. So no longer should anyone who's trying to tell you what the ancient Egyptians looked like be allowed to say, well, there were black people in Upper Egypt without you responding to them with some of these sources that you're about to see. How about that? Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to just go through a few various different ones of my presentations, because I just was watching YouTube and said, oh, let me do a video on this. So we'll look at, I don't know, well, pretty sure some people haven't been watching all of my videos. And so it was just yesterday when we was looking at how Amenhotep III represented his enemies of Upper Egypt looking just like him. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Right? See if I can pull that up real quick. What was that in? What presentation was that in? It must be in here. Real quick. Give me a sec. So not only would the black people have been in Upper Egypt, but this is what I want to show you. During the time period of Amenhotep III, the standard representation of the Egyptian enemy, which we find in a portrait like this called the Nine Bowls, these were all of the enemies of Egypt. But what I would like Metatron to know is that these two right here would be indicative of who we call Nubians today. And I want you to notice one thing. They don't have the darkest hue out of all of Amenhotep III's enemies. If you really look, it would be this character here, Metatron. Now, I know you've been working on reading some glyphs because you got all them scholars that helped you on your first video, right? So then have at it. What's that say? And which icon is used to represent that person? Now, just like we'll learn, and just like I argue in all intermediate periods, right? This isn't an intermediate period, by the way. This text is from like the 18th dynasty. But in all intermediate periods, and I would like somebody to try to debunk this. When Egypt fell apart, the winning contingency would come from the south, from Upper Egypt, from them areas where the black people was at, if you ask Metatron. To end the first intermediate period, we got Mentuhotep coming up with the Magi Archers of Cush. To end the second intermediate, but before the end of the second intermediate period, we got a prayer, right? We got a prayer giving out a prophecy of Nefertiti, the prophecy of Nefertiti, where it's so much turmoil in Egypt, they prophesied that a king will come from the south. So basically, a king will come from Upper Egypt, or if you ask Metatron, a king will come from the areas where the black people be at. Right? Specifically, he is the son, no. He is the child of Nakin and the son of a woman of Taseti. And apparently enough, since we got a gnome map up, I can show you exactly what they was praying to. Nakin, right here. The third gnome, under Thebes. Ask any Egyptologist in the world, they will tell you this area is known as Egyptian Nubia. So in the second intermediate period, when we got all this turmoil, we have a prophecy that a king will come from the south, a child of Nakin and the son of a woman of Taseti. And Taseti is right here. Right? How about what they call the third intermediate period? See, the problem is they try to exclude the black southern contingency, who was actually, I just did a whole video on it called Kushite Rulers, who actually used the Egyptian language, and I don't even want to say the Egyptian language. One would have to just prove to me that that just wasn't the language of all the Africans who lived along the Nile until we get down to the Cushitic language. No, but not, I don't want to switch like Cushitic language, because even the Cushites wrote in Medu Neter and used Medu Neter words. So they spoke. We just read a whole stele yesterday. So go on and let anybody who previously said there were no blacks in Egypt, and then they try to switch up and say, oh yeah, but the black people would be relegated to, or they would be in the South. Go on and let them make that error. because that's where everything popped. Now, we're addressing the third intermediate period. But let me just tell y'all something too, and here's something to note. Again, intermediate period is not a term any ancient Egyptian ever said. There was no king like, oh, we are now in the intermediate period. So that's just a notion of Egyptology. Now, when we understand that, was one particular scholar who addressed the time period and said, this is an intermediate period. Then they said, this is the second one. Well, they got the third intermediate period that don't even match the criteria for an intermediate period, because they take the unification of Egypt that was now done by who? The Kushites, 25th dynasty. And they try to include that in the intermediate period. But in my argument, the Kushites returned to Egypt as fundamentalists the same way that Almoravids hit up Al-Andalus. Right? And that's when you had the Black Moors running all through Spain, and that's probably why you could even yourself step out of the store in Sicily today and go buy some Moori gators. Because wasn't no alligators in Italy, Metatron. Black people brought that up there. Facts. Get y'all on this map. Now, believe it or not, they would like us to believe that Tashamahu stopped at the first cataract and that everything under that ain't part of Egypt. Well, let me explain how this works. And we need to understand this. And I would like to see anything I say in this video debunked, particularly this. Ombo, after the fight for the unification of Egypt, most standard on the work of Gatto and De Socha, we would possibly say the Nakata people, the Nakata material culture, before it went north, it first spread south, right? Then we find some of the material culture mixed amongst the people of Tasedi and Kom-Ombo. But this is what I want you to know. We could go as far out as we want with the claim. Let's just go to the extreme and say the Nakata people was one group and they fought against the people of Kom-Ombo, and then they won or lost, whatever. And after that, they left Kom-Ombo and then went northward and conquered the whole area. Now, whatever the case, those are the directional routes that it occurred. That's what the material archaeology says. This Nakata group went south first. But this is what I want y'all to trip off. And trip off this. Both of these would be in Tashamahu, right? Nakata, if this was what we call it, shout out to Phil Moore for supporting the channel. Nakata, if this was a contingency of what we would call the first Egyptians coming down to fight these people in Kom-Ombo and then returning up, let me ask y'all a question. Why is the first Gnome of Egypt not Nakata, but it's Kom-Ombo? Tell the truth. Think about that in your real life right now. Like if we just had to go out to war with primitive weapons, right? And we all together, my chat, and we need to go south real quick. And we go south and we fight south real quick. And then after we finish fighting in the south, we say, okay, this new southern town is now the beginning of our new country we're going to establish called Egypt. That's probable, right? But it would seem that we are already Egyptianizing things, because if you entertain it the other way around, that these Nakatans came down to fight and did not prevail, and lost. And then the people from Tasseti say this the first known, and they go upriver, downstream, right? And start conquering everybody else going down. Whatever the case, I don't intend to do much conjecture in this video, so I'll omit that for the rest of now. But what we do have as the hard facts is Nakata being what we call Nagata A group, and Kom Ombo being Nubia, the area of the Nakata 1 through 3C, I think, and Kom Ombo, Nubia, A group through X group. So no matter what, everything you talking about as far as the foundational elements of Egypt happened deep down in Africa, outside of the areas of confluence. I repeat, far out, thousands of miles, well, hundreds, I don't want to go too far, hundreds of miles outside of the area of confluence. And with this theory of this area of confluence, you've exploited multiculturalism and forecasted on ancient people without even defining it. And I'll pull up a very good article on how those who argue, I should pull that up right. Who was that? Christian? I'm going to ask Reggie who wrote that article. It's about how multiculturalism and multi-ethnicity is two different things. Egypt wasn't multicultural, and those who argue that Egypt was multicultural are doing it on a basis of not even defining what ancient multiculturalism would have been. They're using modern democratic terms. That's like saying, oh, Egypt was diverse. You know, Egypt was, you feel me? Define multiculturalism from the ancient Egyptian aspect. And if you want to define multi-ethnic, being multi-ethnic or having multiple ethnicities, you have to even entertain that no matter how many people flowed in, the majority of people that anybody who started in this area called Nakata, the majority of people that they would have been able to genetically mix with is other Africans. Other Africans. So I'm going to let y'all hear just how bad his new arguments sound in the light of that little brief discourse. I'll be right back.
Would only be a small percentage of the Egyptian in a almost insignificant section of a few hundred years that would be the later part, and then it becomes under Roman rule all the way up to, as he says, the Arab conquest. That would be the section where you would have the highest number of European-looking types within the Egyptian ethnic strata. Before that, the Egyptians would have looked a mixture between brown, olive skin, no matter how much people hate that word, it's still a word and I'm gonna use it, and black, although then again, the highest percentages of black people, which some use the term sub-Saharan, I kind of stopped using that because it's not exactly a great descriptive term in my humble opinion. You can hate me if you want, but once again, woke, okay, great. There would have been a higher percentage of black Egyptians in Upper Egypt, some of which were priests, some of which have even become pharaohs at one point. You have the Nubian thing, and it's precisely because of the border shared with the Nubians that Upper Egypt, so the southern part of Egypt, because their maps were upside down from a European modern perspective, that's where you would have had the higher percentage of black Egyptians. So some black Egyptians absolutely existed. It would be interesting to see if we could go all the way back to the first, second, and third dynasty, what those percentages would be. I'm very open to look at that. How many were brown? How many were black? How many were olive? Very difficult to say, contrary to what other people say. They make categorical statements of the first dynasty is so moronic considering the lack of evidence comparatively. But regardless, it's a mixed civilization, and that is the closest we get to the truth based on the documented evidence we have. It is what it is. They will use all sorts of, but look at the paintings. The paintings would have looked darker, definitely, because pigments get darker. And I've proven multiple times on this channel, not with all this YouTube nonsense, but with actual studies from the University of Florence on the pigmentation of specifically the tomb of Seti I, which is one of those that is wrongly used by those who push certain ideas, by the way, as I have debunked already multiple times. They showed that sometimes pigments get darker, and that's a fact. It's a fact. So yes, sometimes pigments fade, in which case the color used to represent the skin tone of the people, if that mattered that much for some reasons. For some people, that's all that matters, but of course they are invested and they have conflict of interest because they sell books about it. Regardless, I don't particularly care. But if I'm asked a question, I will respect the student or the person watching and give them the correct answer.
Quick.
And once again, the First Dynasty is so moronic considering the lack of evidence comparatively. But regardless, it's a mixed civilization, and that is the closest we get to the truth based on the documented evidence we have. It is what it is. They will use all sorts of, but look at the paintings. The paintings would have looked darker, definitely, because pigments get darker. And I've proven multiple times on this channel, not with all this YouTube nonsense, but with actual studies from the University of Florence on the pigmentation of specifically the tomb of Seti I, which is one of those that is wrongly used by those who push certain ideas, by the way, as I have debunked already multiple times.
No, you ain't debunked shit. Metatron, please do not say, you can't even read the glyphs, so you don't even got the prowess to debunk it. In all fairness, let's just be real. The only way you can debunk it is standing on some other scholar's work. And all they can say is that the ancient Egyptians made a mistake.
They showed that sometimes pigments get darker, and that's a fact. It's a fact. So yes, sometimes pigments fade, in
and
which
hold
case
on.
the color...
That wasn't even in Seti I. It's in Ramses III.
Used to represent the skin tone of the people, if that mattered that much for some reasons. For some people, that's all that matters, but of course they are invested and they have conflict of interest because they sell books about it. Regardless, I don't particularly care. But if I'm asked a question, I will respect the student or the person watching and give them the correct answer. And once again, these are facts. I've presented all the documentation. I've shown all the experts mentioning this, specifically with Seti I. And people still reject it because he's racist. Well, call me racist all you want. All that does is make me want to make more videos about it. Stand for the truth.
In answer to the question, what do they look like? And I suppose that's one of the reasons why mummies are so compelling for people. Ancient Egypt seems very far away and exotic, and when you look at the best preserved mummies...
I'm confused. I must have stepped out the room, and because he's maintaining that he's talking about what's in Seti I pyramid. You feel me? The light pigment turned black? Wow.
You think, oh right, they were just people.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Some Black Egyptians absolutely existed. It would be interesting to see if we could go all the way back to the first, second, and third dynasty, what those percentages would be. I'm very open to look at that. How many were brown? How many were black? How many were olive? Very difficult to say, contrary to what other people say. They make categorical statements of the first dynasty is so moronic considering the lack of evidence comparatively. But regardless, it's a mixed civilization, and that is the closest we get to the truth based on the documented evidence we have. It is what it is. They will use all sorts of, but look at the paintings. The paintings would have looked darker, definitely, because pigments get darker. And I've proven multiple times on this channel, not with...
Pigments get darker, what? Did he say over time? Hold on.
Civilization, and that is the closest we get to the truth based on the documented evidence we have. It is what it is. They will use all sorts of, but look at the paintings. The paintings would have looked darker, definitely, because pigments get darker. And I've proven multiple times on this channel, not with all this YouTube nonsense, but with actual studies from the University of Florence on the pigmentation of specifically the tomb of Seti I, which is one of those that is wrongly used by those who push certain ideas, by the way, as I have debunked already multiple times. They showed that sometimes pigments get darker, and that's a fact.
So, okay, so he's arguing about something from the tomb of Seti I that I ain't even tripping off. I mean, whatever one he talking about is so... I mean, the majority of ancient Egyptians are painted brown, and they try to go and say reddish brown. while I'm reddish brown, right? And so I don't know what it could be possibly referring to mount his argument. To him, brown people ain't black. See, you got to get that simple in order to try to mount an argument.
It's a fact. So yes, sometimes pigments fade, in which case the color used to represent the skin tone of the people, if that mattered that much for some reason. For some people, that's all that matters. But of course, they are invested and they have conflict of interest because they sell books about it. Regardless, I don't particularly care. But if I'm asked a question, I will respect the student or the person watching and give them the correct answer. And once again, these are facts. I've presented all the documentation. I've shown all the experts mentioning this, specifically with Seti I. And people still reject it. It's because he's racist. Well, call me racist all you want. All that does is make me want to make more videos about it. Stand for the truth.
In answer to the question, what do they look like? And I suppose that's one of the reasons why mummies are so compelling for people. Ancient Egypt seems very far away and exotic, and when you look at the best preserved mummies, you think, oh right, they were just people.
So you look at the mummies and you think, oh, they were just people? Oh my gosh. Chris, can I call you Chris? This was a monumental L, as big as the pyramid of Cheope. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help...
I guess what? He messed up his own argument. So things that fade get darker. Think about that. How do things that fade get darker? They get fade, it's going to get lighter. So what's happening here? Is it fading, getting darker, or what? Man, this is crazy. So back to where we were. These were the people of Tashama'u, or Upper Egypt. Just like you said, Metatron. The Upper Egyptians would have been black. These represent to Amenhotep. Now this was the pharaoh. And this was... I want to see you debunk this right here. This was the pharaoh and this was his enemy. Amenhotep III, who had outbursts and rebellions from people inside of Taseti. They ain't black? Oh no, they're brown. You're going to say they're brown. That's right. Well, I'm brown too, from the boogie down. Productions, of course. My music be bumping or whatever. You don't know what that is. But everybody in my chat do. Here we go with Tautankhamun's war chest that they like to use to misrepresent, right? They chop this up and say, look at them killing the blacks. But then you see who was rolling with Tutankhamun. They never show that part. Now, even this, you ain't calling that mixed. This ain't called mixed. Mixture would be this person and a person like that having a seed. But that's just two contingencies of people with different hues. Can't say, look, they mixed. No, it could be all one ethnic group. And if they is mixed, they mixed up with other Africans. And we sell books, indeed. Cop that thing. I got some stuff for you to debunk. It's not, and you want to use the iconography, you want to use everything, but what about using the language? Right? Let me see if I can find that. I looked at that presentation a heck of long. What about using the language? I'm going to throw this at you in case you can see this video. Go on and have your scholars debunk this. But you can't because I'm going to put Maggie Bryson right on the screen. Dr. Maggie Bryson, and she will say that the ancient Egyptians called themselves black. What we got to say about that? Is that a lie? Maybe it's inside of this presentation. Is that a lie? No, it ain't in here. Did the ancient Egyptians call themselves black? I'm just going to put a few sources for you to get your scholars to debunk. Here we go. Right over here, right? Have all this debunked and say that I made this up. So I'm pretty sure you know that this is how the ancient Egyptians described the darkest hue, right? They took the I6 glyph, and it represents the K and the M sounds. As we can see here, they simply put I6 or the Kim glyph in front of this calf or what have we to say the black calf. No other determinatives or anything, just the I6 glyph. Right here they use Jasher in front of this calf to say the red calf. Here, this would be hedge or the shining calf or the bright calf or the white calf. And this would be, why it's giving us a speckled, not green though, it's giving us the speckled calf. What we should notice is that ancient Egyptians described these bovine by just simply using this glyph. Not this glyph, but one glyph that was representative of their color. It's simply made up of the KM biliteral, a phonetic complement, and sometimes we'll see a determinative behind it. So if we take a name like this, which is extracted from the work of Herman Ranke, extracted from the work of Herman Ranke. I was just looking into the chat, seeing what was going on. We find a brother named Kimu, a person, multiple people who use the name Kimu. If we go to the 1974 Cairo Symposium, we'll see Sheikh and Job Theophilo Banga mount their argument that Kemet meant the blacks. And it got into a very detailed conversation where Serge Sonoran had to intervene in a conversation between Sheikh and Job and Abdullah. And when Serge Sonoran came to settle these matters, they say, step in, you're the linguist. And all of this can be found in a book called The Peopling of Ancient Egypt and the Deciphering of the Meroitic Script. He says, Serge Sonoran, step in, you need to settle this matter, right? Because one scholar actually argued that Kim, which we see at the root of this glyph, didn't even mean black, but it meant something else. And so Serge Sonoran stepped in and he gave us some powerful information. And he said, to say black people, the ancient Egyptians would have said Kemet or Kemu, which we see on the screen. The ancient Egyptians would have said Kemet or Kemu, but not Kemetu. All right. So seeing that this symposium happened in 1974, and we got much better tools now to do this research. I can't critique any of the scholars before us who could not come to the same conclusion that these terms were used. But since it was 1974, he said he had not found that in use, nor had he have found Kim used, the term black, to represent Africans from the hinterlands. That was a long time ago. At that time, they didn't even have this name right there. You want to know what's funny? You want to know what's really funny? Herman Ranke did this work before the 1974 Cairo Symposium. But it was written in German and never published into English. In this work, he took the persons and the names what's the name of that? The PNM. Yeah, it's the persons and the names of the Middle Kingdom. I just wanted to make sure that's right? And he cataloged them, detailed them, and statistically noted what each category represented. If you look at this name on the screen, well, this is probably not even the best one because he didn't say on this one. But we can break this down. I'll tell you, Serge Sonoran said if they wanted to say black people, they say Kimu. Right? Now, this spelling would be a different spelling, but if we look right here, we can clearly see a Kimu. Now, how is that working? Well, since we've been doing grammar on this page, a lot of people know if you got an adjective, black, and you want to nominalize it, you can simply put an uchik on it and make that one who is. So one of the only breakdowns we could possibly get out of a Kimu would be one who is black. Right? We also see that they literally use the hieroglyph on one rendition of his name, which lets us know that they want us to focus on the color. So not only did most of the Greeks who encountered, and I'll show that in a minute too, not only did most of the Greeks who encountered the ancient Egyptians said they seen black people, but the ancient Egyptians used their term for the darkest hue and used it as a common name, also as a descriptor for themselves, as we'll see. All right? And we can talk about Kim at another time. But here they're just telling you how adjectives can be used as nouns, right? Let me back about this presentation. I want to slide over to some names so we can reckon with them. So yeah, out of the work of Herman Ranke, we get the persons and names of the Middle Kingdom. So it's not my argument that the Egyptians called themselves black. See, it's the funny thing. Everybody who's seen them called them black. Like, it's hard for you to try to pull up a historical account. When you pull up a historical account when they don't say they black, you all up into the 80 times or something. Theodore Siculus said at they was the child of the Ethiopians. And that even the Ethiopians knew the Medu Neter better than the people called the Egyptians. But in this work, which is a wonderful work, and it's such a good German work that it's been digitized. They don't do that with everybody's work. They digitized this work and turned it into a website. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Yerrick, and give us a whole lot more. I mean, whatever you want, we're going to throw them up. But so Herman Ranker looked through all of these names and he qualified them by the grammar. And this is why we learn the grammar. So ta, as we see right here, is simply a demonstrative. Well, the is a demonstrative, but it's really. See, let me break this down. At all periods and times did we not use. At all periods and times, they did not use definite articles in the ancient Egyptian language. So he wrote this down as a demonstrative pronoun plus the attribute. But if it was updated now, they'd probably say a definite article, the, because he still made it a definite article. You see? But now the same root for black that they use to describe dark hair, the darkness of the night, black grapes, and anything that are really, really dark is in our name. Now, I don't know how many scholars you really talk to, but I got to talk to Professor Jonathan Winterman about this from UCLA, one of the lead epigraphists out here. And he stuck by Herman Ranker's work and said this will be translated but he even said, I thought he said the black female one. I might have to pull that video up real quick. I think he said the black female one. So my video with him is called Discussions with Egyptologists. And let's see if he said the black female one.
Called cryptographic or enigmatic script.
Hold on. So we don't got no evidence of you talking to no Egyptologist. I think you lied in that first video about how many errors you made. But you might want to go watch me talking to Jonathan Winterman to see what you're dealing with. I'm gonna share it go right here. Now let's see if he sticks by this or if he refutes me. This is me copying directly today, so I'm just gonna go through them. We understand that on the Stela of Abku, we do find a Chemi where they're talking about, even though I don't have that here, they're talking about Osiris as the black one. But I was coming here to get the Ranker's work of persons and names of the Middle Egyptian. So this is me copying directly from the website, just so everyone know. This is my opinion on the screen. And Herman Ranker took the name Takemi when he found it in the 3 attestations, and one of them was the same person. That's what that kind of means. The dark one, and when he said the type of name, it was demonstrative pronoun plus an attribute, and the attribute being a physical quality. So here we see they made a nisbah out of the term, the root kim, put a reed leaf on it, you know what I'm saying? And they make Kimi, the black one, or one associated to darkness. And the ta, they really used, he called it a demonstrative pronoun. I guess definite article or demonstrative pronoun. But this is saying the dark one. Would you read and would you read this the same way?
So I will also say I'm not an expert in personal names, and I'm also not a spelling in. So I think these sources, they seem to be, especially the first one, is coming from an administrative text. So I think there's a few different ways to read this. You could either say it's Takemi is short for Takemit. Again, so the black feminine one, and then we know it's clearly feminine there because we have.
Hold on. So I ain't even tripping off that like that. I love the discourse with Metatron. You get sat down, but I'm talking to an expert here, right? I'm literally talking to an expert here. in all his humility, he said he's not an expert in personal names, which Herman Rankin was. And he put it on the screen. Herman Rankin said the dark one, Jonathan Winterman, shout out to Jonathan, just said the black female one. Let's listen again. Pronoun. I guess definite article or demonstrative pronoun, but this is saying the dark one. Would you read and would you read this the same way?
It's so I will also say I'm not an expert in personal names, and I'm also not a spelling in. So these are, I think these sources, they seem to be, especially the first one, is coming from an administrative text. So I think there's a few different ways to read this. You could either say it's ta-chemi is short for ta-chemite. Again, so the black feminine one. And then we know it's clearly feminine there because we have the ta instead of a pa. So then chemi would probably originally have had a feminine ending. But again, this is not chemeti, but chemite. So the black female one as opposed to the one that belongs to that which is black.
Now let's stop. So again, what he told us helps us on our videos when we're talking about Egyptian grammar. But see, this got a E at the end, a Y. You see a J there just represented one transliteration scheme. That Y and not the T is telling us to take it as the one who is black and not that which is, or one associated to things that are black. This is actually the black one. And this name was used, they found it in 3 attestations, but I'll show you more.
The other possibility of reading this is ta meaning she of. But again, I think that's too late. That would probably be 10N chemi for this. But it's also possible that this would mean she of the black one. So maybe she of Osiris, depending on the date of this attestation, though.
See, he tried to put a she of on there, and but we already know the grammar, and we know it too. He said it's too late. Yeah, that's way too late. I didn't want to go there, though. And he agreed directly. So let's get right back to where we was at. Now, you show me your Egyptologists who disagree. Shout out to Indigenous African and all those who support this channel with all that consistency. I appreciate you. So it's safe to say ancient Egyptians called themselves black. Now, when people tried to scrutinize my argument, I didn't think we were able to remain civil enough for the argument to ever get to the point where we did start scrutinizing the collective terms. We were forced to it in brief moments. But right now, these are personal names, right? And so let's just keep that in mind as we look over a series of personal names, right? Now, you can't get away from this one because they didn't put no adjuncts, no affixes, nothing. And to keep it real, you still probably would have called him Kimmy sometimes, but he was just Kim. They were Kim. We got all these attestations of men who use this name Kim. And what did Herman Rankin say? It represents a physical quality. What you think that physical quality is if the term means black? That's why I love when he changes like, well, we have another feminine rendering of how women who use the same term they would use to describe the darkness under the fingernails, Kim. The same term that they would use to describe the pupil of the eye, Kim. And the same term they would use to describe the darkness of the night, Kim Imgur. Kim. Right? It's in her name with a T on it. feminized. So this is a woman. This is why Herman Rankin said the dark one feminine. It's a physical quality. The majority of my people already know this. I'm putting this out for anybody who, I dare you to watch this video. Let me see. And there's a lot more where that came from. You can also look into the work of Alward Blackman, right? But I'm going to show y'all straight from the book because I didn't get to do all of them into a nice slide. So I just copied a whole page of other people called the Black straight from the book. And then I'm going to share one more. Let me find that link. There we go. Erie Kim, Anki Kim, Happy Kim, Der Schwarzer. I didn't put all these there. This is straight from Herman Rank's work. Now, don't entertain that anyone has not got at me trying to argue that these were titles. Don't even try it. Because what Herman Rank did in his work was not only list all the personal names, he listed all of the titles. And this is what you call an expert on personal names. He listed all the ancient Egyptian titles. Every title is in his work. And guess what? Black is not one of them. I had some try to argue how you know Black ain't the person who cleaned up the temple. How you know Black ain't a job? Seriously? So here we go again. Now this is Herman Ranka, Metatron. So I encourage you to look through that work. But when you're done with that, I would urge you to go look at Alward Blackman's work, The Rock Tombs of Mier, and even read the footnotes, right? And in this work, I love when people have to read it for themselves. So read it for yourself. This is a photograph out of the book, right? And now I'm not being semantic when I say the ancient Egyptians called themselves Black. This is just simple. It's no way other to translate it. Member of Ni Ankh Pepi, the Blacks family. Now, something peculiar happens in the tombs of, these are some tombs in Mier, kind of Bakusei, I think. They're Bakusei, maybe Mier. But look, what the thing is inside of this family, one of the brothers, see, we got, look, let me show you. We got Henny the Black right here. Notice that the Black is always going to be in an advertigial position, meaning it's going to be, they're never going to be, Kim is never going to be first. So it indicates that it's used kind of describe to modify the noun who is the individual. It's like if you call me John the Black. But no, we wouldn't do that in African American vernacular English. You would say Black John. You still know to look out for Black John. Not like a carpenter John. Not a blacksmith John. You just gonna look for Black John. Well, we have some indication that it was working that way too, and Blackman seems to say something about that because in his footnotes, he describes how in modern day Arabic cultures, they still would use between black and red to talk about the darker and lighter of two siblings. Now, if we see we got Henny the Black, we got Pepiant with the good name of Henny the Black, and even down here we got another one. You just have to know how to read it. Henny, right? No, I'm sorry, Happy. I apologize. Happy the Black. or happy black. Happy black. Now notice this. This is Albert Blackman and Herman Rankin that put hands on you. But now we're going to start going into the TLA. I'm going to start with one somebody shared in the chat, my man Yuri. And again, thanks for the contributions to this channel. I appreciate y'all. My man Yuri just shared this one, so I'm going to share it with you. Hold on, why did it do that? For some, you might have shared the wrong link, Yuri, because when I clicked it, it went to a YouTube. Hold on, let me see. Thought it was supposed to be the TLI. Let me see. Oh, it's gone now. Hold on. Share that TLA link one more time when you can, bro. I don't know what happened. I don't know what. Oh, it's right here. All right. Restore. Let's see. Oh, I pressed go back to YouTube. Also, this is another one he's found in the text corpus. Right? Now, if we translate this, let's see what it says. I don't see no De Schwarzer there. Oh, I see Kimmy. So we're going to translate this. Well, we don't have to translate it. We can just read the transliteration. It's simply a Hotep D Nisu, but we trying to get right here to Kim E. Kim E. I wish the glyphs were up here. Mut Nisu, this the king's mother. The birth of birth belonging to the king's mother, Kimmy. Okay. Ha'ankif, I don't know. But if we click here for Kimmy, this is a personal name for another woman who now, if we break down the grammar of her name, we also get the black one. Well, how do you know it's not the complete one? How do you know it's not this? How do you know it's not that? Well, Osiris, the black god, his name was what? Kimmy. Right? Thanks for sharing that. So here we got Nikau Isis, the black elder. His name follows the same grammar. He amended him at the end of his personal or his effigy. Right? I didn't make this up. This is in the text corpus like this. I didn't call him the black elder. If you go to the Thesaurus Linguist Egypti and look up all the uses of the term Kim, they started calling themselves black early in the 6th dynasty. And we can look at the glyphs. There's Kim for black. Here's Shimsu. Simsu for elder. Right? You see the elder. You see the black. This is in Kau. So it's Nikayu Isis Kim. Right? Nikayu Isis. But they got Nikayu Tetis too. Here's an older one, Save Me the Black. And I didn't make this up. You just got to go look at the source. And they say this right here was a Kim glyph. You can see the glyphs as they're broken down. And he does have the man determinative here, to where some would try to stretch it and say the black man. Now, I can look this up live. Let me show you live, just so you can see ain't no magic going on. I'm going into the ancient Egyptian text corpus, and I'm going to do a simple search. So what this is going to allow us to do, right, is look at how Kim was used in a scholastic source right now. And if you try to tell me they could call pots and pans and snakes and everything else black, but when they talking about a person, it don't mean black no more, you tripping. I'm passing up this rendition because it only got 4 renderings. We could go to the one with more renderings. $75, right? But no, I think this can, let me see. Let me click this right here first. And then do it. See it say black, 75. Then I'm going to get up out of here and want to hear from some of y'all in the chat. I don't want to talk past 2 hours about this subject. I mean, about this just by myself. So first use we find was in the at a base of Jed-Kara. That'll probably be darn near in the first dynasty. Well, we see the geminated Kim, which would probably mean becoming black. It got 2 M's on it. Y'all see that? But it's for a dark quartz, not an individual. Next, they talk about the head of a large black snake. I'm just going to go to the first use of humans. Then I'll open up the chat. They got a black colored knife. So these things are really black. For you are the black ram, son of the black sheep, born of the white sheep, who 4 white sheep nursed. Right? And we can talk about that. It says the black and green leather snack. Nevertheless, these things are talking about real colors. Black and green leather sack. So, right? It's still the word Kim. So it's not going to switch up when they start talking about people. Look. Shu takes him as Shu's companion. Teddy has suckled the milk of 2 black cows. So if we look at these 2 black cows, we see Kimti here. So that is the term they use when they want to call things black. So what happens when we get here? The prince, the mayor, the sealer of the king of Lower Egypt, right? The only friend of Nikau Isis, his elder son, his beloved, the only friend of Nikau Isis, the dark-skinned elder. So the same term they used to call the pot and the pan black and the 2 cows black, they used to call this person Nikau Isis. And you see it in the text corpus, and it won't stop. Now they're using the term to talk about a black knife. See, you'll accept that this knife handle must have been black. But you won't accept that this guy who used the same term to describe himself was black. And that's during the time period of Teddy. A black knife again. Now watch what happens when we get to the next page. Uh-oh. Another person. His eldest son, his beloved, the only friend of Nikau Teti, not Nikau Isis, but the only friend of Nikau Teti, the dark-skinned and elder. So I did that before, and we got to know we got Nikau Teti and Nikau Isis. They was both called black. Even the text corpus has to translate Kim as dark-skinned. But they don't use a word for skin on here. So they know since it's in the adjectival position behind his effigy, it's a description of it. This Peppy will lift her up in this black night. So now they're talking about the night. Ger, Pin, Kim. This black night. Let's see and I'll do this last one. There go some black mountains, black cows. I'm going to do the last person. It's going to be Sabi. Here you go. Pepian, another one. The king's nobleman, his brother, Pepi-Anku the Black. All right, I rest my case. We got some time. If y'all want to build on it, anybody want to contend against what I said, you can feel free to hit the link. It's no big deal. We can talk about it. You can share your screen, share your sources. If you agree, you can click the link and give your point. Let the people know how you think about it. I might let this video rock out for a minute if we could get a good, get a good conversation going. Appreciate that, African Surf. Let me share this link. Yeah, it's crazy because the cold part about showing all those people who called themselves black, I didn't even start to say that the name of Egypt has that same root in it. And in this video, when I was talking to Jonathan Winterman, I had him admit that there's no source for why they say Egypt is called the Black Land based on the silk, the dark fertile silk. We already know from our old research that it ain't no source on that. So go on, hit the link. Let me hear from y'all, man. I'm gonna probably play some videos until somebody hit the link. Oh, there we go. We got Yurik in the building. Shout out to Yurik for tapping in. What's up? You there? What's up with it?
Yo,
Thanks for tapping in, man.
what up, man? Yeah, I just found a page to the links of all the personal names and shit on the TLA.
Oh, you found a page that linked to the personal names?
Yeah,
Yes, sir. You know what? The TLA, Herman Rank's work is so good that the TLA actually uses it as a source. So that's how I think I learned about it too.
nah, but I'm talking about they got the like the added station where the names is at.
He asked what kind of computer I'm streaming on. I'm streaming on a gaming computer. It's not an expensive gaming computer. It's called Alienware. It was an Alienware computer made by Dell. I need to step out the room for a second. Joe, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up with you?
Yeah, everything good. I'm just, loving the presentation because like everybody beating the brakes off that man so bad. He just going on attack mode because he don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah, well, he didn't surrendered Upper Egypt like he didn't know that that's where all the good was. See, the thing is, where the pyramids are, right, that kind of mislead us. We're tourists. That's a tourist attraction. So they're gonna big up them areas. Like, let's ask ourselves. I know those were big cultural cities throughout times too. Memphis had became a capital at one point. I'm not going against that. Mid-Nefer, right? Or whatever. We know what's up with that. But we understand that when things fell apart, where everybody went. All the way up to when the Romans... See, why did they said the Romans had to go south and start fighting those Nubian queens, right? Because everybody would go down there to get their power source. So eventually they was like, we got to be able to try to make our way into these Nubian areas. And that's when they met with some of those Kandaki queens that was breaking them off.
Yeah. They had a story about was it Queen Amani-Renas who chopped the head off a statue, and they found it sometime later under her throne.
Amani-Renas, Amani Shaketo.
No, but the story about Amani-Renas, who they said she chopped off the head of a Roman statue.
Yeah, that was Amani-Renas, but she had predecessors who was also harder. I mean, I want to say harder, who was also valiant warriors. And so this is an indication. I'm going to play a little bit of, well, I ain't going to play it right now, but Jeremy Pope video, I want us to look at some of that too, because he be talking about the double kingdom. And so I'm thinking, I got a little hypothesis that I need to see is it true, that maybe the double kingdom was not a new thing. Maybe after because once they got this Viceroy of Kush thing, that seemed like the beginning of them seeing Kush as part of what they was. You feel me? And so, I don't know, some could argue that ain't true, but it seems it may be a possibility is that way.
See, but now, did you see Du Bois' presentation on the four intermediate periods? Have you seen it yet?
No, explain a little bit about that. I just gotta step out the room for a second, but I'm listening. I can't say nothing back though.
He did a presentation on the Shrine of Ma'at like over 4 months. Once every month, he would do one intermediate period, and it's on the Shrine of Ma'at. Who was it? Anybody else in the chat there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Did you see that presentation that Du Bois did?
I see it.
Yeah. If you go on Shrine of Ma'at, you'll see it. It was four. It was a 4-part series, and it was one every month. So if you go on, you'll see it. Then he was breaking out a lot of what Smack was talking about in terms of the different suits and what was happening, how they came back in, different titles that they used, and things like that. You should go and see it. Anybody who's listening now needs to go and check it out. It's a real good presentation. Very good presentation. So what do you think about this presentation that you saw tonight?
Oh man, it's fire reviews.
You're talking very low though.
I said it's fire as usual.
It's what?
It's fire.
Oh, inspiring. Oh yeah, but you know that Smash thing. He inspires people.
Man. Now, you told me about the revolt during Ptolemy the Fourth times, and that revolt was so significant, I didn't even know it made it to the Rosetta Stone.
Nah, I don't think that was the Rosetta Stone.
It was, I thought I heard when I was reading about it, other people said it made it there, but maybe not. But tell me more about it.
What it was it was saying that the people in the South was rebelling, and they had pulled up. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. But the people in the South was rebelling, and they was basically like the priests of Lower Egypt hooked up with the Greeks, and they went and stomped out the daggone the rebellion in the South.
Yeah, I found if you Google just on Wiki, I found it called the Great Revolt. Not Wiki, but just in Google. You know, we was reading the primary account of it. I don't got that on hand, but when we talk about Upper Egypt always breaking away from the north, particularly when invaders come in, man, that happened every time.
Right. And I think a lot of information is under the Aswan Dam, because like a lot of them places will actually had people during that time. And cause that's where like the Segastini and all them, that's where their tombs is, under the Aswan Dam.
You might be right.
I looked it up.
Whose tomb is there?
The three Nubian kings, the Segastini.
For real?
You look them up, and then they'll tell you where he's from, and then you look up that location. It's underwater.
See, there you have it. They done buried all that blackness out, flooded it out.
And that's what I think the significance of that Kimmy I had shared was, because it's 13th dynasty. So that's like right at the start of the intermediate period, right?
Yep, I mean, right at the beginning of the second one.
And the king's
Yeah.
Kimmy.
That's craziness.
I might share that the story I was with the rebellion.
I was I ain't started reading it too much, but I was looking at this from it's a stela from a Nubian, another Kushite king. But I think in this one he say, and this is what I was trying to prove, if we start reading the stela around the time period of Taharka, they don't ever say nothing about Kush.
At all.
I know I'm trying to trip off that. They be talking about the farther south, they call it Tasseti. Now, I seen Kush on his whole stela, he didn't say nothing about I was coming from Kush. So I'm about to just skim through this while we looking. So this guy is called Hersiotef.
So did you see the one I shared with Pianki where he called Kemet Kim?
Yep, I did see that.
So how they get black land out of that?
They don't. They just made that up. You feel me? They just made that up. Oh, I got another one where it say black. It say Kim Ta.
Yeah, that's
So I mean, it say Ta Kim Ta, and they was like black land with a question mark. We know the land should be before the black, but I seen them do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't reading this. I'm just skimming through it. I'm looking for the word Kush. I know they're gonna say something about Tasseti. But in here he say he has the four corners of Nubia, and he say he have the crown basically of Tasseti. So I was like, the crown of Tasseti. I never heard nobody say that. So I was like, let me re-identify that in the text somewhere again. But I ain't on that right now. I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah, it should be able. It will have the X behind it, right?
Which one?
The
Yeah, it's gonna have the
079.
X. It's gonna be the bow and the X. I'm just looking for that real quick. But I must have missed it. I got a quote from this text, but I don't see the word Tasseti yet. But what else been popping off?
It really.
Joe, you there?
Yeah,
What's been
you
on
hear
the?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was just watching your presentation earlier, man. It's a good presentation about the YouTube presentation.
About what?
The YouTube presentation that you did earlier today.
Oh, about using YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
You ready?
I feel you inspiring me, boy. I might go live tomorrow and check it out and see
That's
what's
but
happening.
dude, I'm saying why not? I don't ever understand what's the problem. You don't think I'll be watching your channel? I'll definitely be watching it, and I'll just be trying to see what you be doing. It don't even matter what your niche is. Feel me?
I feel I'll do that. I feel I'm gonna do that,
I don't know why not. That'll probably be a good idea.
and I got plenty of time too. Huh? So I
Yeah.
can use it a little while and see what happens.
You never know. You might be one of the one who get 100,000 followers and stop messing with this channel.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I definitely wouldn't do that.
You're gonna be like, I'm off to the races.
Nah, I wouldn't do that to you, man.
Hey,
If
man,
anything, if
you get
anything,
a
if
series
anything, what you say?
I said, hey, Matt, you get a chance to watch that video I shared yesterday.
What you say?
You get a chance to watch that video I shared yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I played it on the. I played it on. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I played the clip during the show. I thought.
Nah, you played a yeah. I won't even talk about that little clip, though. But that whole video is serious.
Is
So,
it?
and they kind of talk about the area of Nubia that you've been talking about the last couple of days.
Is that right?
Like it's a place called Gebeline or whatever.
Gabeline, yeah.
It's all about that one place, and it talk about how the people have been mixed there the whole time.
The people was what?
How they been like the Nubians and the Kushite, or the Egyptians and the Nubians been mixed there the whole time.
Yeah.
And
And,
they talk about how the color identity comes about in the first place.
mm, that's interesting. Oh, I did see. Hold on. Yeah, that's crazy. I remember when we was at one point doing work on that Murray Patas stuff, and then I just dropped it and left it go. I'm gonna pick back up on that one day too. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, I think you was on
You
that
know,
right there.
I
All right,
meant to
here
tell
it
you
is.
yesterday.
This is it, bro. I found it. So check this out. They doing something different here. Y'all see this? This is it. But it just say Hess. So for the now this say the
Which one? The other
top
point is
the
one.
Hess, huh?
The other point is I'm not seeing it.
I just don't know how he getting this in out of this. Because this is the crown. I mean crown in Pa of the land of Nahasi. So let me show.
Okay.
Let me take a snippet of this. I knew I was gonna find it. I snipped it already so I could color it. Right. So look, here go the crown, and now this is a different crown. That's the cold part. Dang, that's cold. Because this is the crown of Ta-Nehisi, and I'm just showing people that this is a certain thing. People probably didn't even believe it.
It looked like that blue crime.
I know, that's what I'm tripping off. It's like they saying the blue crown was the crown of Ta-Nehisi. Because that damn show ain't the white one or the red one. Now, I probably should go on and read the whole line, but we don't really got to read it from the very beginning. Because this is where something is getting said. Let me see. I don't know what Maki is. Maki, Reti. So they're gonna give to me. They're giving to me the Pashint. Oh, this the Pashint. Oh, hell no.
That's
Now,
the crown name.
now, I know Pashint ain't an ancient Egyptian word like that. But why say it in front of both of it? Unless SH. Shh. So let me see something. But I think that's a Greek word that comes from the Shekemti. Let me see if I put Pashent. P-E-S-H-E-N-T. That don't pop up. P-E-S-H. All right, now I'm going to put it in Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I don't think that's wrong. No, I don't think that's wrong. Let me see. P-S-H-E-N-T. Why would they be using the word Pashent for crown? Now, see, it ain't popping up, right? But why? Because it looked like I'm wrong, but I'm going to put crown, C-R-O-W-N, and then
We
something.
can't see it.
Egypt. There we go. See, P-S-H-E-N-T. Now,
We can't see it.
oh, no, that ain't right. That ain't going to be right. Because they say, oh, y'all can't see it? All right, hold on. I don't know why. Let me see. Here you go. I'm going to try. Now, this is just the Pa Shekemti. But let's think about it. Because they got to show the glyphs. And that's the different crown. I know that's a different crown. I know for a fact. But why do
But
they
they're
got
showing they're showing a double crown though.
I know, I said I know that's a different crown. I just was looking at that's why I had to come here to see it.
Oh, but it says Greek.
No, this ain't no, but look at the glyphs. Hold on. So it says, well, then Pa must mean the. Let me show you. Where the glyphs go? So this basically is the crown of Nubia, but let me put it in a different color. Y'all know
Magic
this is
Greek.
pie, right? That's a pie bird. Now it's an S after it and an H. So I just got hella hype. You feel me? I'm like, oh shit, that's 8% because there's a crown after that. But that's incorrect. So whatever this crown is, it must be. Let me show you.
What is the blue crown called?
It must be called this right here. What I'm gonna put in blue. I mean, no, the blue crown is called the Capresh. Oh, that's probably the SH from Capresh. No, no, I mean, that is an S and an H, but that ain't how that works either.
But when you read that, they would call that one of the ceremonial crowns of ancient Kemet.
Well, I'm
They
going to
wouldn't
put
mention
SH
it,
in the dictionary.
unless I'm wrong.
We about to, no, it don't, ain't nothing popping up with that. What's the ceremonial crown?
The blue crown. When I read it, they said that was like a crown that he wore. No, that's the war crown. I'm talking shit. They would say that was the war crown, correct?
The blue crown, yeah.
Right. But we're looking and saying that that would deal within the Hesi. That's what the text says, right?
All right, here go a word, but we gotta find it with a crown after it. I'm not ignoring you. I just seen this word right here. The text say we trying to see what's the word before the crown. I got a translation of it that I put in my work from 14 years ago, so I don't want to really look at that. But it's published online, so I could definitely pull it up. But I want to look at it right here to see if we can make anything. I don't think that S and that H is going to mean something. So let me put a P-A-S-H. P-A. Nope. P-S-H. Oh, P-S-H is something. So let's see if it's going to be, if we see it with that. Nope. I would say, so then if that's the case, you just got to parse it.
Yeah.
Well, see, look.
But it says something
says something that. So what?
It says something that word is based on some Greek terminology.
Well, this right here is a Sagittarius, right? With Erdi Ini. So he has given, or he has allowed. So this is he has given the sh, and the sh is this. Feel me? Is this crown? I don't know how is he getting the SH from that, and that's just the crown. But then we can keep reading because it's true. Two, that's a preposition. Now, if what I said about this green box was right, I said the, remember? So this should be the again. The, now what we got after that? Land. Land. So that's how I know. It says I was given then. So now all I did was change it from being active to being passive. First it said I have given, but it's not. He didn't give it, he received it. So this is I was given. It's still a simple subject NF form, the verb form, conjugated verb form to let us know what he done. I was given the sh, and that's a determinative, whatever the should is. Now here's a preposition. So the should is a noun because it got a definite article before it, and it got a preposition after it, connecting it to another definite article that's about to introduce another noun. So I was given the crown, I would say, of the land. Now, what's this last word? I know it don't look like we normally see it, but I'm going to let you know what it is. And I've never seen it written this way. So we got to figure this out. But y'all know what this is?
I mean, it's got to be Nahes somehow.
Yeah, it's supposed to, the translation say Nahes. But that, so I don't know what's going on with that first lift.
Is that supposed to be like a bow or something?
Nah. Now notice it. I'm going to point it out because I can see it up here too. I just seen that they had just mentioned it up here when I looked up. Maybe I'll scroll down. Look. So what are they saying about Nahess up here? Right here. They say the same thing. The land Nahess. And that's what they say. This is the land of Nubia, or the land of Nahesi. So if we want to go look at this one, we can see what this one means. Well, now we reading backwards. But I just noticed that and wanted to see, okay, that's when he first mentioned it. So we want to read what he first mentioned. Let's see where. It's probably, I'll start from right here. I mean, you know why I'm starting from right there? Because I should start from a U. Oh, this is probably where they gave him the whole four corners up here. So if anybody want to trip off what we tripping off, this is a text that we never often hear about from a king named Hersiotef, which claimed to have been the king of Ta-Nehesi. And he didn't say Taseti, as we see right here. He didn't say Cush. And the closest thing, I think that is a hieratic neighbor, Shesmu. I mean, you sharp for saying that. It damn near looked like Chris wrote that on there. Right? I mean, you sharp for saying that. I do think that's a hieratic neighbor. Right? It would have to be. But and so that was a very good assertion, Shesmu, from the chat. And someone says it looks like a Nemes headdress, the other one. But not this one we're scrutinizing. But nevertheless, if I'm trying to find a point where I can try to read what they're saying in this sentence to where to start from. And I don't want to, I mean, if we got to go to the beginning, then we got to go to the beginning. But I don't see no sentence breaks. So it's going to be after this Ankh Jed Ujah Nabet Sin Seneb. Yeah, Nabet Seneb Nabet. Right, so I guess they would start. This still looked like a Mach Ib and Nabet Mira Jet Forever. So it would start right here. She gave, or it, why would it say it gave? So, again, it ain't to give, it's going to be passive. It's going to be, it was given, yeah. So this is where I'm at. Anybody want to join in on in the Zoom or in the chat? I'm talking about, hit the link. We ain't gotta do this forever, but I'm building on it. So this is just so basically it ain't was given. This is like it's given or she gives, right? Because this is a verb with a T on it. It's kind of part of symbolized one who gives, or you can say giving, but it's definitely not a past complete action. It should be imperfect, ongoing action. So she gives or it gives. Why would we say it gives? That don't make no sense. So this is going to be Shah, right? So this is, they're giving him the fields. Now, I'm going to look up Shah because it normally should have more than that to it, right? But this ain't part of the word. This is another urdi, to give to me. So, can y'all see let's see if y'all can see the dictionary when I pull it up. I know Shah is associated with a field, but it will normally be like shaket or something. Let's see if we can find a Shah. See, that's blooms and flowers. A flower garden, that's a Hindu Shah. A marshland, Emi Shah, is a marshman. A peasant is Tepi Shah. So notice how all these things is kind of related to the field a little bit. A pig is a Shah. A pig is a Shah. A marshland, so that's what I'm saying. Now, don't you think that might be that? It could be that, bro. So that's why I said Shah. This is gonna be that because he's giving them all the areas. So it said it or I don't know why they say she
And that's
giving,
another argument.
huh?
That's an argument. That's an argument against Kemet being black land. Because if they was giving somebody marshland, that's black land.
Oh
That's
well, well, you know what was about to happen? I think he's going to get a whole bunch of stuff because it says we got the. Oh, so I'm gonna see this so people who don't know MetaNet can follow by the color code. When the verb to give, I'm putting in green, and watch how many times it occurs. This is just a deet, a deet. Now the R fell off of it. It would be a erdeet, but the R fell off and it gained the T that let us know it's used as a participle. So they saying we can gerund it probably ing, giving. So now if this is the suffix pronoun, oh, let me see something. I gotta see. So I'm gonna put the suffix pronouns in blue right now. So now I just said ooh because I've seen another way to try to read this, but that ain't gonna work. I tried to read it as DS2, but that's not it. I think it's this. This is the whole suffix pronoun set, which is what is this? Is it second person for the woman? It's I know it's feminine. It's third person. She, her, or it. Right? She, her, or it. Right? So we gonna say it. Now it wasn't given. Now we know to say it because what they talk about next is a marshland. So I'm gonna put this noun in orange, I guess. This is the marshland. I'm taking that as Shah because I see the SH marshes and then they got an A at the end. Shah. So this is the marshlands. Now we got a preposition after it, and I'll put that. Wait a minute. You want to know what's called? I put the Shah down here, but the same word right here. You see, now that just is proof that we reading the goddamn list. Did you trip off that? Look at this word, Shah, that I just highlighted. But I did the wrong Shah. I was trying to do this one. Look, Shah. But my brain hopped down to the wrong line.
You know, if you didn't say that, I wouldn't have known that, right?
But you see how they are identical now?
Yeah, but if you didn't say that, I wouldn't know that. I thought you were
Yeah, I
pointing
think
out.
a lot of people wouldn't have either. I just noticed what I did and just, and here go another one, correcting myself. I'm not just pointing out the Shahs, but now he got the crown of the marshland. See, because it, oh, so what this is the Hess again? Yep, they're going to Hess with the bird. That's how we know. Ah, the Nahas crown, bruh. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's gonna get deep. We gonna keep reading. We got,
they got it with the neighbor down there
yeah,
under the
there
first
you go
one.
with the bird. And oh, wait. But look, this is backwards.
The Uchick, not the neighbor.
No, we gonna just read till we get over there. Because when I looked at it, see this one got the H before the S. That's correct. This one got the S before the H. So now I gotta see. I'm gonna wait till we get there. So this is, I mean, now I left out this part about the beautiful father and all this stuff in the front. I don't even want to trip. The land, Nahes. Now we got something about. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep going down here, y'all. I apologize. It's given, or she gives. It was given. It's given. This is some marshland. Well, watch this next one. What else is given? Y'all know what that is right there? It's a Joe, you know what this form is? I say it every other word. Sajam what?
And
Yep. So what does that make us mean? It means a conjugated verb where the verb is in front. The end is a representative of a completed action. So how we represent completed action is we put it in the past tense basically. But it don't really represent past tense. It's just saying that action is complete. So how would I do that when we see the end? You're going to say has or was basically. So now if this was if this is to give. See, this one ain't a Sagem NF. So this is like complete. I mean, this is still happening. It's not complete. It's imperfect. It's still happening. It's ongoing action. So we would say
That's like giving.
it's given, something like that. So it's like it's given the marshland, and then he said it again. It says, I was, because this is passive. I was given. But now what we see next?
Is that many?
Huh? You know what that is.
Many.
Amen.
Is that what?
Amen. Amen. I was given Amen, right? I'm about to break this down. Look, you don't see that say Amen?
Yeah, I did, but I questioned myself and went back and said something else.
Oh, all right. Well, that's
Is that amen? Is that amen or min? Am I reading it backwards?
Amen. You reading it right. But I don't think this means what we think it is. Guess what this means? I'm just about to tell y'all, and I'm gonna let y'all look, and I'm not gonna mess it up. Trust me. One of y'all gonna say it because y'all got the knowledge. Now look.
Amen means hidden.
Hold on, let me break it down, make it easy for you. We identified this Sagem NF, but this is a Sagem NE because this is I was given. So now we got Amen. What we got over here to let us know what he was given?
It's not marshland. Marshland is before it, right?
That's a place. That's like
No. Amen can't be a place because it doesn't have it doesn't have a Lewis on it, so that's not a place.
it is a new one right there. On the next
Where?
line. On the next line.
All right. Am I tripping?
Amen. I'm about to ask you, is this a preposition or not?
Amen belonging to.
Amen of.
And then whatever that place is, I don't know the name of that place.
So what does it look like? It looks like P moot. Let's look up one location real quick and see what they show us in the glyphs. I'm speculating right now that it might be this one place. Have y'all seen that in the glyphs?
Mm-hmm.
Napata?
I haven't looked it up, but I think it was.
I think I hit, bruh. So look, we got the N, the P, but we don't got the two Y's, but we got the water. So let's go back. I think that's, and we know about Amen of Napata, right? That's a southern thing. I bet you this is right. So look, let's go back and look at it. See, look at this N and this P. Forget the two reed leaves and remember the water. Now when I come back to this, look, where is it at? They're going to N and the P in the water. It just ain't got the reed leaves. Nep. So it could. So I think this is Amen. Now, if it's Amen Napata, I'm thinking that this is what it is. Because how else we gonna read this?
It's just Napat.
Yeah. Now, if they're looking at this final T, if we say an A consonant after that T, we have Napata. I'm thinking this is Napata just because of this reed. I don't know about the reed leaves. It could be wrong. But look at this. You see this? All right, now, here go another thing. Sometimes the Y don't even got to be there. So, well, I mean, maybe that probably wouldn't happen on the name of a location.
See if it pop up like that.
Huh?
Look it up in the TLA. See if it pop up like that.
I think it is. Let me see. Because when I do it, I'm gonna put an NPT to get to it, so that's giving me more evidence. NPT, right? And then it's gonna have to be like that. Let's see. I think that's Napata. If I was doing my homework, I'd put Napata.
That make the most sense.
I'm in Napata. They just didn't put the of in the middle and made a direct genitive. Let me see. So I'm just gonna go to the English to make it easy. So when is this John Jones fight supposed to happen?
I know he was fighting
Oh
again.
yeah, he fighting sometime soon, maybe next week.
Who we fighting?
Oh, that's Stipe, man. I don't know why they acting like that's something. So here on the Potter, let's look at the glyphs. Stipe is hard, but I'm like, come on, man. Why you want to fight this dude? Oh, they got the N, the P, and the T. What I say, bro? They just don't got the water. But all we got is the N, the P, and the T, too. What they say about Tassetti and the Potter on this text? That make me want to read some of the Potter text. See, they say Nubia and hung on the wall of Napata, the last fallen soldier. Now, that's Napata NPT. They go another way. They got NPT with the sky over it. I don't know how that's Napata.
Now, what's interesting that they had a 049 on the text you had,
I
but
know.
it was written by the Kushites, so that shit wouldn't be foreign to them.
Napata.
Yeah, but when we say, but when they say foreign, it just means it wasn't part of their official kingdom. It doesn't necessarily mean different people.
Man, that's
Is that correct?
Napata. Hey, that's Napata, family. I'm trying to let y'all know. What else is going to be? It had the water determinative. That's Napata. Let's keep going. Watch. Yeah, that's Napata. So what's this pet after that?
I'm not.
Huh?
It's not on screen. It's fine.
Huh?
The spell is not on the screen.
Oh, you don't see nothing on the screen?
Now I see it wasn't on it before. It was the TLA.
Oh, it must be some delay or something.
Probably.
I don't know about, I mean, I know that this has to do with this determinative. The only word I know for pet has to do with the sky.
See, but that got a 049, and then the Hesse land got a fork like the hill sign.
Yeah, because I understand because he's talking about a country. So Almond of the Potter, yeah, that take an 04. That should have an 049. I'm with that. That sounds right. Because now, pot, this is a dignitary, a patron. So pot is a patron. I ain't looked it up yet, but I just remember. And I know some of this literature. So, and because I read what it say after this, right? So that's a father, and this is Nefer. So he the good father. So I don't want to say he's a patron of the good father, but we see the it word. The F is superfluous. We don't have to say atef, even though I used to always say atef. Now, that's the good father, right? So this is going to mean a patrician, mankind. But we really want to know when these Nubians talk about a pot, they are sometimes talking about a dignitary. Excuse me, I need to get some water. They're talking about a dignitary. If I take a pot right here, the highest we might get is a dignitary. But they might say mankind, P-A-T, right? They might be like mankind. All right, I hate this TLA. I'm going to do the dictionary. I don't hate that TLA, but it's me. P-A-T. So let's see. It's going to be a dignitary. Watch this. You got to wait till you see it with a human. All right, let me put a lowercase I. There we go. See the patricians? Notice how they got a PAT at the beginning of that word too. But this is the mansion of the hoop pot. You see the mansion of the patricians, but watch. See mankind, people. Y'all see that? But we'll see one that look just like the one we looking at, pot. It's just gonna be a P and a T.
It's still a delay for us, so we behind a little bit.
Pardon me?
It's still a delay for us, so we behind a little bit.
Oh, I don't know why that's been happening. Something been up. People been saying that lately. I gotta see if something wrong with my computer. Maybe I need to get some memory taken off. So we see a pot is like just, in some regards, it's a dignitary. In some regard, it's just mankind. All right.
It was on the screen just now, you know, dignitary.
What you say?
I just saw dignitary was on the screen just now.
Oh yeah, it popped up. Yep, I'm glad it did.
Yeah, it did pop up. So what you saying was true?
Oh yeah. I
You
mean,
said that did.
okay. So then we'll go back to this on the screen.
So you just went past it, but it was there for sure.
Yeah, I know, because we got a little delay. So on what was their dignitaries at? Pot right here. So I'm thinking like, you know, after they said Ahmed of the Potter, the good father to mankind or something, the land of whatever,
The has probably something like that.
the land of Nahes, but this Kasat got a T on it. So that means I might need to pronounce it. The land of Nahes Kasat. They shouldn't have put a T. They should have put, like, you know, just 3 strokes maybe. Or the land of, it ain't Naheset. See? So we would probably say Nahes Kasat. Because they spelled it. There go James, can help make the stream pop better, man. All right.
What's up, James?
He coming in now.
Well, I ain't seen him in a long time, but I was just going to ask about him.
So we didn't read nothing after these marshlands. This says of. So this is an M. This is not met. That ain't the word met. This word to be, don't put the T first. The T is after, even though it looked like it's first. UTI is what I would look up for this word. Let me show you why. It's called graphic transposition. So they basically just fit the T wherever it could fit. But you should look at whichever glyph has the most height, or whichever glyph is on top and concerning height is the U.
That's like Etymology.
So this isn't, I don't think this is 2E. That's a possibility, but 2E? That don't make no sense.
I was reading it ETU, but that's probably not right.
I'm gonna look up UT real quick. And probably UTI and see if I see a man with his hand to his mouth. What's up with James?
Man, I've been having a hell of a time trying to get on the Zoom.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but you know, it does this sometimes. I have to reinstall and install because I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've been trying to log in for about 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the heck?
Wow.
So I logged in, I finally got it to work. I had to get another link. I guess the link that I had, the first link I had wasn't right. But what's happening, everybody? Peace.
What's up, man? I was not wondering what happened to James. Well, I haven't seen you in a while.
Man, I've been painting my house. Doing stuff you got to do it, to make sure stuff runs smoothly around here.
Yeah, Christmas thing we do that in Trinidad too.
He said Christmas. You say Joey?
No, in Trinidad they do that. They paint the house for Christmas, change the curtains, all them type of things.
Oh, I ain't know. Okay, nah, it didn't have nothing to do with Christmas. It was just that time. Yeah, so what y'all got going on over here?
No, this was a Stella with dude that said he had the crown of Tom the Hesse. And he like saying he the king of Ta-Nehisi. I ain't never seen nobody say that. And we looking, it looked like it do say it. And he's saying the land Nehes Kasat. You know what I'm saying? Sha'im.
Okay, now what time period is this in?
Good
Why you didn't ask
question.
that
I
question?
thought Hercio
That's what we
tell me.
guess. We got. See, you know, I'm the chronologist on the
I
panel.
think he
We
right.
gotta find out. Hopefully, it's early, but we got. It kind of seems.
Nah, it ain't hella early.
Yeah, I've been listening. It seems like it must be late,
It's kind of
like
late.
18, 15.
But it's after Pianki now, but it's before. I'm like, it's in a weird time period. Like, so this is kind of like some research to prove how they went back down south. I mean, and did their thing. This is like about maybe 400 or 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
BCE.
BC. Yeah. Something like that.
But it's still all relevant.
Yeah, it's still all relevant. That's right after the Kushites, and he's still like, hold up, I'm writing in Metal Nature. I'm all the way down. I got the crown of Tana. That's probably why he claiming the crown of Ta-Nehisi. Because Egypt was so blown up by all those people up there. You feel me?
So what that crown look like?
Man, it's crazy.
The
Because
Do it look like it look like that crown that they had? What was it? The National Geographic that they had Tahaka. He had like a gold.
He's drawing something with a Uraeus on it.
Yeah, that's how Tahaka's crown looked. It was just like that.
Look at that. I mean, they got the Uraeus and they got a little do-rag tail. Like, that might have been a cloth, bro. Like, what's that tail on the back for?
Man, how that? What's the name of this crown? I need to go look this up.
I ain't never seen this crown, and the word before it is crazy.
We said we think it might. People say we think it might be the compressed crown, but
Nah, I don't think so. Now I think it's the crown James talking about now.
Yeah, that's
which
what
one
I'm
was that?
thinking.
Which one is that?
It's some kind of crown that they at the time period they started wearing.
Like
Further
the
south.
20 war.
So would this be one of the 5 crowns that they say in the suit of Kemet War, or that's a different?
You know, they always try to minimalize once we took over. So
no.
They probably just made this. This just some stuff we done stumbled on. I mean, but you know, they always minimalize. The only crowns I ever heard of was really with those 3 crowns: the war crown, the white crown, and the red crown. Right? Those
No,
are
but
significant ones.
Then they have a Capresh, and then they have the other one with the rag at the end.
I forgot about that one. You're right. I don't know. Is that a crown? The one that the King Tut, you talking about the one the King Tut be wearing, right?
All right, look. Help me break this down.
No, but they're saying that they wore all of them. It wasn't just one crown. All of those crowns were put in the suit.
Okay.
They found evidence of one of those 5 crowns. Not just one. Any one of the different occasions, like festivals and war, and double crown, and they were all different things. But they never actually, but Flash was saying they never actually found them physically in any of the tombs.
Hey,
just,
hey, Smack.
What's
I guess when 2 races just found the names of them.
That really
They never
wants nothing to do with that word, because that word is down there on the next line.
That's what I was. You right with me. That's what made me put it in the dictionary. You're gonna see that the dictionary is up, and I'm looking for the word M2 now because I've seen in the bottom that I ain't got nothing to do with it because it got a determinative after that. But look at this M2 word. So M2 do mean something.
Conjective, it says, and I will.
Yeah.
You. Conjective.
I didn't know nothing about M2.
Feminine singular.
So that must be M2.
We shall.
Because we just seeing it with the chick bird, so it look a little different. I'm gonna try a different MWT. I know it ain't moot. I think they're saying M2. So they definitely ain't saying moot like mother. They're not saying death. We need to see the Uchik before the T. So I think that it was the other word. M2. Let's see if it makes sense in the translation. Yeah, it definitely ain't mother. I think it's this. But I want to see it with a chick bird, even though we don't have to. I bet you if we see it with the chick bird, the chick might be in front of him. Let's see. Oh, there you go with the T in front of the. Wait a minute, didn't I say that? No,
where
I
you
said the
at?
chick. Wait, it do got to be like this. That's how we got it with the T, because there's a T in front of that chick after an M. It's
No,
saying this.
plot.
So I
Is
got
that what we?
So
me?
wait, that's going the wrong way though, right?
It don't matter. They just read the
He
different
said
way.
it don't matter.
So look, notice this. After the M2, this is M2E. This is M2X. Now we actually got somebody with a reed leaf after the M2. Look at this M2 on here. It's right here. So now I know this is definitely it. Let me show you the word M2.
M2E.
Yep. This is the M2E. You see it, huh? M2E. So that's what we're dealing with. M2E. Everybody.
So what does that mean?
So it just told us. So if this say
I get it.
the land Nahesi, like the foreign lands Nahesi, now this is the marshland. Now let's see what M2E mean after that and see if that makes sense. The marshland, so and I will, see? What's gonna happen? And he will what? Oh my God, he gonna create. Look at the next sentence. He's going to make, this is to do, to make, or to create. So definitely this is an M2E, huh? And I will create love, bruh. Oh, hold on. Y'all think I'm making that up? He's going to create mer-e.
Yeah, that's what that shit means.
And now what's next? Isn't this the same word that I said meant mankind or the patrons? So he's going to create, he's really going to make, he's not going to do his love. He's going to, something his love amongst the patrons or the people or mankind right here.
But didn't we see something?
Well, how you pronounce that one? Pati?
It's pot. It's the same as this one in green above it. Look, remember when we was going?
No, I just got in here, so I was a little late.
Yeah, it's pot. Just a P and a T. And so you can say pet, but pet normally is the sky. So I think they say pot, pet, pat, or whatever.
Didn't you read something like this in the other Nubian text yesterday?
Why is that a word right there? Ain't that sick?
Say what?
Am I tripping? That's a real word right there in front of whatever that is after that bird. Am I tripping?
SIC? Sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is it a real word? You know what I'm saying?
It means something missing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they ain't never seen nothing like they trying to do some real English.
But this is similar to the text we read yesterday, Smart, dealing with the Nubians, right?
And I will create love. Now, this is a different text in a different time period, but it's on the same subject. It's pertaining to the same research.
But we read something like that in one of the other texts yesterday.
I don't remember.
Yeah, something about making love to man or something along those same lines.
That just means to make people love you or to become beloved, basically. To become their one's beloved, basically.
That was the same thing.
I just was like,
that was a Nubian text too, right?
But he's just like right here, he's going to create. Yeah, you're right. He's going to be make the patrons love him.
But I was just saying I have to point out the consistency in the text. That would have been something that probably would have been in other texts besides this one as well.
But look, this one actually says makes the patrons love me. Because you see that man after the mer?
Mm-hmm.
So that's mer-e. So that's love me. Now after love me is the people. So he really said he gonna be the king in Ta-Nehisi and the marshlands, and then I will create Uri, make mer, love I love, so and patrons people. So me love, my love, make the patrons love me. That's what it appears to say. Right? And then it says they got another definite article after that. We're gonna go on for too long. Which no,
I'm wondering why would he say that though, or why are they? Maybe it's just the way they talked
no,
at
that's
that
what
time
that's
period.
you about to be a king, and I'm gonna make everybody love me. That's
Oh, okay.
exactly.
I thought he was saying it in like up in the force. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
hell no.
Yeah. He may, you know, that's up to our own
Nah, the
conjecture
word
how we.
eerie,
But yeah,
eerie don't mean for implied force at all. It's just to do, to make, or to create.
okay.
Yeah. So that blue one I just did is another the. But now,
If that pot mean the people, then what's the glyph behind the
behind which one?
later on, like after the Nahesh Smart Flame into, and then I don't know what that is.
Well, are you looking at a different line?
I'm looking further along the create love line.
Okay, so now after this orange, because we got another M2 right here, it looked like.
But how you gonna skip over that right there? That's with a sick at.
Well,
What
we
is all
trying to
that?
get to that, but he just asked a question.
Oh, okay.
So this is just an M2E again, and that just got a determinative in it. That could be a ma 2. So that's funny because this say
With it. That's
ma,
why
what you was asking about though, real quick.
I seen the other person behind that, and I was thinking that meant people because I
Oh,
was putting
this
those.
right here.
Yeah.
This kind of like
I-
means to me, but in a sense of direction, right? So if this meant then I will, we got to figure out this because that's what he gonna do to me. You feel me? Because it says, so we got an I and an R. R is the directional to. In this sense, unless they're gonna be comparing it to that.
So that's on my eye.
Yeah, but it just got these two strokes under it, and I'm trying to figure out how is it now. I know how it's working because this E don't have to be. It's a suffix pronoun on the word M2. So now they separated it and they put a ma in the middle of it. Since we still on that in the dictionary, let's see if it's right there. Cause y'all see how this E is suffixed onto, it got a dot. So it ain't part of the root M2. So they just put something in between the root. And I'm suspicious that it might just be this and looking funny. But I might be wrong. I know. I just guessed real quick. Look. But let's see what other options we get. Oh yeah, there you go. See, it's these, huh? Y'all see that?
Yeah, I see the two strokes.
So this one got the two things, and this one say "let me." It don't say the same as the other one. So let me see if it got the ma. If we can find one with the ma. So the word must be matu, I think. And I just say "let me" now. It makes perfect sense with the first one, because the first one said "and I will." This got the two strokes. And I'm thinking that this M2 is about to be let me. Let's try to read it that way. It don't make no sense to say let me to me.
You can't find one that look like exactly like that with the myrrh and the
I just
two.
looked through them. I mean, when I looked through this, it didn't have this in the middle of none of them.
Okay.
So I would think that this word, since I noticed this is a suffix pronoun, it can suffix onto different things. So this is its own word, it appears, right here. And this
Yeah,
says
but what word is that?
into my E. So if I just put a ma, we can see what that do. See if a ma ever pop up with two things after it. Into my we. See that ma right there? That's it. But we need it with 2 strokes under it.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about just the one with the
Oh,
sun.
y'all probably can't see the dictionary yet because maybe my.
No, I'm looking right at it.
We
Some
see it
people.
now.
Okay, yeah.
I just didn't see the 2 strokes, so I was like, hold on.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you don't find it in every form that you find it, and you gotta try to work it out. You feel me? Like
Right.
right now, we just went through hella miles, and we see them, but we don't see.
Nothing with 2 strokes.
Yeah. So we just gotta look at my was, and see which one could work. If M2, what did M2 we mean, and then I will.
Yeah.
See, there is a mod for vision.
Go back one. So there go with some strokes.
Oh, down
Yeah,
here.
sure is.
Thanks for finding it, bro.
But it got the land. What is it? The river or whatever.
New land, virgin soil.
So I think that goes right what he talking about.
Don't never say Kimmy, bro. That shit pissed me off.
Huh?
They got all words for goddamn black land, but it ain't never Kimmy.
Exactly. You know what I'm
New
saying?
land.
So he gonna go get some. This is some my wet. So we're gonna say my wets, my wheat, my oops. But I do know that is a W and a T that ain't there if y'all noticed it.
Yeah, I'm wondering what represents the W and the T, but because I don't see it.
I mean, if the 2 strokes do, then I don't know nothing about that. So really,
That wouldn't make sense in this context of what we're talking
So
about.
slow down. Hold on.
Yeah,
Smash.
it does make sense.
Hold on, slow down, Smash. You saying that that river or whatever you determined if in the 1 stroke behind it is not really seen up in this what we looking at.
No,
right?
what just but
we could just use the 2 strokes and the mer symbol.
Yeah.
To get this word that's right behind the mouth. Okay, so that's cool. So that's just there. So we know that it means new land or virgin soil.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, now we gotta think because at first
there go 1 with 3 Smash right there.
But we gotta go back to the other one before that. I'm gonna go back. Where you see with 3?
You was
yeah, but we just needed with 2.
There it is, right there at the bottom. See?
All right, we needed with 2. Then we go right here at the bottom or right here.
No,
it was at the top
right up under the one that Yuri showed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. It means the same thing.
There it is, right there. See, yeah, so that's what it means, I guess.
But here's the thing: that's an option for this word, right? Well, now we gotta make it make sense because what is the M2? We need an M2 by itself. This one meant, and then I will make the people love me, right? And then it says the something crown of the marshlands, moot. Now what does this mean?
The new land.
See?
And the new land.
Yeah, it's like in the new soil. So what is now we gotta go look at a mutu that means something. Because this is my new land. Because he put the E after it.
Oh, it's honorary trans.
But he got his hand to his mouth. I hate this shit.
So what he trying to eat? Maybe he's getting ready to eat over there. You know, it's new land, new soil. So he's probably finna get it in.
He's like, he about to eat bits, huh?
Yeah. Then we got to go all the way back to how we be thinking, man.
Well, we need to look up the first word again. Because we got to find a version of it that'll work with new land.
But both of them mean the same thing, you know.
Oh, it's conjunctive. So that works. It could just be connected. It's in conjunction. Oh, that's perfect. Because it put the 2 lands and connected them like an and. See, it's the marshland and the new land. See?
Mm-hmm.
Conjunction means it's going to connect the 2.
Word.
Disjunction would mean we say or. Mm-hmm. So we say,
then we got to make and the 2 lanes. Wait. Okay. Now break that one. How they gonna join those 2 together?
You're gonna say
the marshlands
and my new land.
Word.
I just hate that they use the determinative with the hand to the mouth, yo.
Like I said, you gotta think about it like he getting rid of these people in the eat.
It's
New
forcing us
lane.
to look up this last term, Ma'i. And I know that's a lion and stuff, and not.
Okay, now Smash, he got his hand up on that on that
Oh,
Batu
man.
right there.
We got his hand to his mouth. If that's a new like sentence. Because the reed leaf right in front of it. Ain't the reed leaf with the man? Ain't that a new like how you start a sentence?
No, I know which one you talking about. The reed leaf and the we would need the reed leaf to be with a chick bird too.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? So the
Nah.
reed leaf with the man is just saying me or mine's. But let's see if we can. Let me show you. Watch this. I'm just gonna put one I in the dictionary and watch it pop up with the man. But let's see. It's like I, me, and mine. But it's just gonna be a man some of these times. And let's see if he ever got his hand to his mouth. He shouldn't have his hand to his mouth if it's just saying me. His hand should see the reed leaf just means me too. You feel me? But we're gonna find this reed leaf with a man. Oh, y'all might be behind me a little bit, huh?
No, I'm right on. You right
Okay,
on
cool. You
point.
right with me. Cool. There you go. But see, he ain't got his hand to his mouth. So I was just saying maybe the artist or the scribe just wrote it with his hand to his mouth. It still is a reed leaf and a man. It means
Yeah, he got his hand up with that front hand is up. So I don't.
but
But
it ain't never gonna be
it ain't
to
in the
his
right
mouth.
position. Is what you're saying?
Oh, they got one. Well,
Oh,
this,
damn.
hold on. But look, he got one. Okay, that's it. See, look at the difference.
So it says I say utter
I say or utterance.
utterance. And it
So
says
now it's not my land, so we're gonna say I utter. Oh, look.
what is it? Interjection?
Guys are there.
No, this is
Guys the one
longer.
there.
These are longer words though.
No, but the one you have highlighted looks like the same set of glyphs that we had on the screen just now.
Yeah, but we don't got no pa and what you call it after that.
You had it by itself a minute ago, didn't you?
We only dealing with that right there. Yeah, exactly. I'm just looking through what else they showing though to make sure I don't get caught slipping.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back. Yeah, yeah, we got it already. I think.
Yeah, I thought I was tricked. Yeah, you got this. So I thought
Yeah, he's standing right there with one thing. So it's like there you go. It's an interjection. Let's see if that works. I mean, why else is it a reed leaf? Look, with a hand to his mouth.
What is that O right there?
Oh, hold on.
Did you see
We
that?
got this. This one he got his hand to his mouth too. This one he got his hand to his mouth too. So this makes perfect sense. Because if this is like the marshlands and then this is just saying what an orderance to say, but they was like, like an explanation. Because this is saying he's going to cause the people to love him or make the people love him, right? So I don't know. I think that could be right, but let's work on this down here. Marshlands and the new land. Oh, to me, yeah. So I mean, whatever that means, it's like a I'm trying to.
It deals with speech.
It seems like it's doing more. It's doing this one right here. Whatever we do when they doing that right there.
But I think.
Because he's like the marshlands, the new lands. Oh! I'm saying, though, that's what it seems like. Now, what else am I doing?
I think that oh
I
my
wonder
god.
what do utterance mean? Like, what is this some type of prayer he's saying or something?
What
to
is
speak. It means to speak.
Like, what's he say after that?
Yeah, he say stuff where we could translate it all right there. Like, oh, it's like she juiced. Because he say, look, the land of the Hesse, Kasai, the marshlands, and the people who gonna love me. That make me hella mad. It really do that. People love create. But I don't know how to translate that right now.
They say older people's, because I was trying to think about how you always talk about how they use the King's English, and maybe that's how they translating that is maybe like thou and oh. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's how they using that word right
That
there.
is how they use it, but I'm
I
trying to
don't know
fit
how to say it though.
Yeah, I'm trying to fit it into a translation.
Yeah, we always get confused when they start using their stuff. So we got to fit one of our words in there. Let's figure out how we gonna cram
So in other words, that would be like if you make a statement, say that's what I'm saying.
I'm good at this part. I'm good at fitting into the African American vernacular
Word,
English.
that's what
Now
I'm
watch this. The 3 definitions they gave us was "oh" with an exclamation point. Then it said "say" and "utterance," right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. What is that? How do we say that in AAVE?
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, I think the utterance is coming after, it's coming next. I don't think that have nothing to do with new field. I think the new field is the end of a sentence.
No, because we read it the correct way.
No, I think you might be right. If this, I should take this out of green. This could be starting a new sentence. This particle right here.
Cause that's I will create the love. So this is I will, and then
No, they said say with that. They said say with that or utterance.
Right.
but okay, yeah, cause we got the I will from the month.
This
So
word
what
is
do
to
we
create, to do, or to make. This is like
what do we
love.
So what did it say? I will say create.
but what do we call the reed leaf with the man in the line in the first line?
Pardon me?
What do
We
we
said
call man with the reed leaf in the first line?
Where's
Before
one at?
Yeah, I don't see one until we get right there.
right there, after the first Monty.
Not
at
right
the
here.
end
You
of the
see
line above.
That's pot.
At the end of the line above.
the
Or
line
put.
above.
Yeah,
Is it something
the
that
green in the line above.
this green
Not
right
that
here?
one. You know
It
that.
ain't got a reed
know
leaf
that.
right there.
Below
Under
that.
that one.
Right under that.
Oh, you talking about
At
right
the end,
here?
those are yeah, but those are the same clips
That's
on
the
the end
one
of it.
we talking. That's the one I've been
Yeah, they
talking
must
about.
be lace, man.
Hey, that's the one I've been talking about the whole time.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
he been pointing to that hole we looking up
No,
all the way.
'cause
We done
I'm
went all the way to the
looking,
white.
no, because I'm looking at the one below it.
Yeah, we looking at the one
Yeah, but
under
we
that.
looking at you said what about the first one? So we went to the
Yeah, I
first
went
one.
to
We
the first
seen.
one.
Oh, I didn't know
The
that.
first
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, you know.
I
the
mean, that
I
first
didn't
don't
realize
matter.
that.
So let's deal with which one? The second one right now?
But I think it's saying the same thing. It's the same clip.
But we
So
trying to
it's the
figure out
same
how to get how to parse it. What's going on right
Man,
now?
I'm going to tell y'all, this right here is the O. But why could they say
Right.
O to me?
Why we ain't say oh in the first
Is it
line
old
above?
like you owe something to me?
I
No,
feel
like
you.
no,
You saying
no,
why
no, no,
you
no, no,
ain't
no.
saying O in the first line? Well, because that one ain't separated by another word. And so when we put it in the dictionary, they actually had a rendering for it. Like if I put M2, what's this? MTW, what's this? See, one of them gonna come up with the whole exact thing we looking for. So that means we found that one. Like here we go. It's M2E. See, so basically, if you see this man, you can see a reed leaf.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Okay.
And so this is a version of it, but he don't got his hand to his mouth. That's what we were tripping off, right?
Right.
So then it must be the same word then.
No, we found one with the hand to the mouth.
No.
Remember?
But remember that is a facsimile, correct?
So let me show you. Remember we found it and we forgot. It's this word. We didn't
But isn't that a facsimile though?
Eureka found it. He had the hand in the mouth and the 2 strokes.
Right. But what I'm saying is the document that we're looking at is a facsimile, so it's possible there could be mistakes in the facsimile. That's not the original document, right?
Yeah, I know, but that's a cop out. Like I don't want to be saying that just so I don't have to
Yeah,
do
make
homework.
something fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that's just saying
I'm
you
not
don't
saying
want to
that.
do the work.
Okay, well,
I mean,
that's not
that's
what
an
I'm saying.
easy way to blame it on
At
somebody
least
else so we
look
can.
before you just
Yeah,
rule
we
it
gotta
out.
prove that. Like, if we
Okay, all right, all right.
you're right. We can
That's
arrive
fair
at that
enough.
conclusion. You're 100% right. We arrive
No,
at that
that's fair enough.
conclusion,
That's fair enough.
but we got to
That's
be
fair
able
enough.
to prove that shit. You feel me?
That's fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's crazy. We found one now. You can't find it no more. That was wild.
Like, if we see some
and then,
inconsistencies in his use of the determinatives, but every time behind the reed leaf, he put the hand to the mouth, and then under other instances, he don't put the hand to the mouth. So he is paying attention to that at least.
No, whoever did this on this game, he or she.
I mean, this I don't like going to the translation. We doing fine because I would take up until I don't want to just say oh, right? I would normally just say minds, even if he got the hand to the mouth. Because in this one it said and I will. Now this is to create love people, so I will make the people love me or whatever. The blank word that we ain't parsed out yet. What is N? Y'all want to try NSH?
all right, well, let's see. Let's put it in and see.
NSH. No, that ain't
Yeah.
working. Oh, you said eternity? That's a good guess, but I don't think so. See, here's the thing. The crown has to have a name, right? They're not just going to draw a crown. And notice every time we see this crown, it got an H, a S, and an H in front of it. So let's find the crowns. Remember we was looking lower in the text down here when we was doing that? He got a crown with an S and an H in front of it. And a different bird. So that let me know that this bird is simply got to be...
Is that a bird? Is that a bird? The first one? The one right there you pointing at
This
now.
one
That's a
right
bird?
here?
Yeah, I know it's got the sick right there, but
It looked like a bird with some parts missing, and that's probably what's represented by the sick. Sick means something missing. So, I mean, where are we at? So basically, this has simply got to be the name of the crown, man.
So
Even
we
though I
saying
don't,
that has the crowd?
so you know why? And if, I bet you if I here it go again. Now look, why does it have an SH in front of it again? Now it got an Uchik. See, so that's the name of the crown. This is one with the crown on because they put an Uchik behind it. One who wears the crown. Of the land, the has. So that's what I'm saying. I can know by the grammar they put an Uchik on this SH down here. This is still the definite article pa in front of it in this instance. So the name of the crown gotta be SH. Look right here, SH, right? In front of the crown.
Pawu?
Yep, now we got a crown, we got SHU. So that's just would be one with the crown on, I think.
But
Not
when we looked
multiple
it,
crowns.
no, but when you looked it up, it has something about Greek, right?
Oh
And you
no,
said you think they were
that
like
was
to
a
see
word
that.
percent. I'm not looking up that word percent.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
No, this is just an S and an H.
Okay. So what does that mean?
It
I
means
guess
this
that's the
crown
question,
right
right?
here. It
Right, but
means
have
this
you ever?
crown. Oh, it means crown. How about that? We never looked up just the blank generic word crown. We always was looking up types of crowns. See, this is probably just a generic word for crown. Oh, look, we're gonna add something. We're gonna see SH in a minute. Watch. It probably just means crown, bro. Because I mean, as many times as we can see a crown behind it, and we ask them, what do it mean? It means the crown.
Right,
Uh-oh.
but then
Did we pass it? Hold on, I gotta go back. That was a lot of S words there. All right, what's going on here? Was they trying to draw this? Oh, look. I would be certain that that's some word for crown just from the analysis we giving right now.
Right.
It say
But then if
SH
it's
in
a,
front of every one of them. And I
but then
can't.
if it's a crown, is it one of the 5 crowns that we know, or is it a different crown?
I think it's a
That
different.
would be the question. Right. So that would be the question. Or is that the name of a specific crown? Which I guess what we're trying to find out.
Oh, that's a good question. But I think it's just the crown. I thought I seen it. I did. I didn't see it nowhere in there with no S and no H.
So probably just means the crown then.
I don't know. Oh, somebody said you passed it. When I looked at the chat, he said I passed it with an S and an H. Hell no.
Now we just saw hella crowns just now, so I
I
don't know
was
if it's
looking,
evidence
but I
of
didn't see
that.
no SH.
I did see some S and H's, but I didn't see crime.
Oh, you seen the S with an H? Damn, I missed it. Let me see, it should be around here somewhere, right? Oh, see, just go off that, see? Let me see.
No, we've seen several words with crown on it, but not that particular one.
Y'all made that
No, we saw several crowns, but none of them was the crown that we're talking about.
All right, there go some S's. I don't see no SH. Oh, go back.
It did have a
Oh, that's
word.
a deceit. Oh, what's this now? It got an H and an S though, right? But I'm just saying I'm not going that far, and that's Lower Egypt. That is Mehu S. So I can't, but I just see the H and the S in it. What's this?
But I wonder, well,
Oh, ain't nobody gonna figure that out, huh? Uh-oh, what's this? Uh-uh. It's all bad, bro. I'm gonna go past that. I know it's the crown. Anyway. It's 37 people watching. Damn. I thought this one, everybody leave. Because they hate them man doing that job.
well, I guess we can say it's a generic word for crown for the time being. So we're
It
not saying
is.
anything about
I mean, I know the translation, and I mean, I'm looking at it. So I know in this text, they say he got the crown of Ta-Nehisi. And so now we read the English, we read the glyphs, and it said, I was given the sh of Ta-Nehisi. And we see a crown there. I mean,
right.
you know, we just gotta assume that sh means crown of some sort.
Which is probably what the scholar did.
Yeah. But they would have an entry that they listed in the dictionary. So look, now watch this. I'm gonna just keep going. So it was said to me, you see this? By who? Amen Patna Pata. It was said to me by Amen the Pata. Now here we got another E with the mouth. So remember that was to utter or to say?
Right.
So he like, yeah, oh, you have given, you was, you I'm saying you were given, there go a D again, the shoe. And what is that right there?
A crown.
A crown. Wait, maybe it's shoe we need to be looking up. And maybe the W just fell off the other one. I do think I know. Wait a minute. Don't we know something about a shoe for a crown? Man, we still ain't found that crown. But it's cool. You was given the shoe. I don't know. I'm going to remember it on the late night. Be hella mad. Where we at, though? I got lost. Oh, said by... Oh, wait.
By the D.
I've spoken. I said, I'm in the Potter. Oh. You were given the crown of the land Nahes Kasat. And now we got I gave. Y'all see that because it's not it's not gave, it ain't past it. How do you say give and it's still ongoing and continuous?
Give in?
I'm giving.
Give in.
No, give in is over, huh? Giving is still going. Giving me. So not I giving, but giving me is still passive, I think. He hears. Let me think. So I'm giving, what is he giving? To me. Yeah, okay. To you? I'm giving to you. Yep. Now what is he giving to him? This is the best part. I'm glad we kept going. We made it. This gonna have y'all crazy puzzle. So he says, given to me. Now what is this? Every time we see this bird, it's the same thing, man. Come on now. What's that bird? You gotta remember, this is the demonstrative. The. So yep, so it's gonna be pa or ta. But this looked like pa. Pa is in the masculine. So it was given to me. What's given to him?
The four corners.
Oh, thank you. Four corners. Now we about to look this up. Because if Ta Nes Hesse got four corners and a crown, it allowed me to argue that at this point in time, that's why it's 400, 500 BC. At this point in time, they're like, nah, fuck, this is really a thing now. But if you ever hear me talk about it, I often say at later points in time that could be argued it is a reference to this text. So I want people to see this word. I'm gonna put a Q, an A, and an H in the dictionary. And then I'm gonna end the stream. So we're gonna try to find the one. So notice they got bend, shoulders. What we gotta see is just say corner. You feel me? The four bends. Okay, there you go. Look. The four what? Corners. So he giving them the four corners of Tassetti. Y'all seen corners?
Yeah.
Okay. So where to say? The four. What's four? What's the word for? You know what I'm saying?
Four strokes.
Huh?
They put a number
Four
for. They
strokes.
put a number.
No, I think it's
Four strokes is the
fedu.
number.
Is it fedu? I could be wrong.
But I don't know, but they put the four strokes for.
Yeah, the four corners. Now this go all the way out to here though. That's kind of this word. Even though I looked it up, it's actually Because that eye by itself with the legs don't seem to make no sense.
That's it right there.
So I gotta extend it. Huh?
No, I think what you got highlighted is it right there. If you have highlighted right there, it
The
should represent that.
uh
Unless I'm,
So hold
unless
up,
I'm
that's another arm right there. It just broke up, huh?
so this is the arm up here and
Yeah,
this
I didn't know what that was.
and
'Cause
that's some legs. So just an arm and some legs probably won't give us a word. And they just said the four corners. All I'm looking is seeing where the preposition is falling. The of is right here. Feel me? So it's four corners of. Now you're going to see everything is consistent again. What's this bird again?
The
Thank
pie.
you. Of the, and James, y'all can just read this whole thing. Of the land, right? So he gave him the four corners of the land, but he didn't give it of Tassetti. What's this side?
Or what that top means.
Huh?
I don't know what that first course is.
Oh, that's the cat. Man, hold on. I got a damn cat that jumped into the window because she want to get in. That's hella crazy. Well, let me see. This is the limit. This is the limit. Jer to the end.
Oh,
So
that's
they gave him the
from
four corners of the land to the limits or to the end. Because we see an IU right after that.
right.
A use, this is a new sentence. So it's like he gave to you, as we see, he has given to you he gonna give us some more stuff. What's this?
Is that the beautiful water?
Thank you. The good waters. So he's giving them the good waters. What else he giving to him? He's gonna say the same thing again. So this is, and he gave you something else. What is this over here? I don't know what this is. It's just a T on top of that. It's with some water. I don't know what that is. But he giving them all type of stuff. All right. Yeah, this is good. I just wanted to get to that part to see that we read that they had two corners of, you feel me, the corners of Ta-Nehisi and everything. I'm going to get ready to close this stream down. If I do get a chance to come back, I will come back. But that was hella fun to do, and for me, it was fun to see.
Peace, y'all.
Y'all, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back soon. Peace. Peace. Yeah. Word up. So, I mean, from the beginning to the end of this video, we did cover a lot of subjects. And what we wound up seeing is that there was some Cushite making a vow to the kingship of Egypt all the way up in about 500, 400 BC. While everything else was up in turmoil, they still was in the south saying, nah, we the kings. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the supporters, the members of the channel, and everybody who contributed. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to get up out of here and go watch a movie with my wife. All right. So y'all have a good one.